up 79 cents. Boeing, $214.63, down 39 cents. Caterpillar closed at $450.66, up $9.99. Caterpillar, $116.10, up 87 cents. ExxonMobil, $115.29, up 61 cents. First Energy closed at $43.44, up 39 cents. Johnson & Johnson, $177.20, up 74 cents. Home Depot closed at $417, down $4.45. Intel, $24.90, down 37 cents. McDonald's, $304.97, up $1.68. Meta Platforms, $775.72, down $3.28. PNC Financial Services, $203.77, up $2.83. Raytheon Technologies, $158.31, down 27 cents. Rockwell Automation, $344.66, up $2.40. Tesla closed at $425.86, up $4.24. Verizon, $44.21, up 47 cents. And Walmart closed at $104.27, up 85 cents. Recapping, the Dow Jones Industrial Average was up 260.4 points, closing at 46,018. The Nasdaq Composite was down 72.6 points, closing at 22,261. And the S&P 500 Index was down 6.4 points, closing at 6,600. From the Uniontown office of Janney Montgomery Scott, LLC, member FINRA, NYSE, SIPC, where we serve all of your investment needs. This is Janine Herron.
Zen's Antiques and Home Decor, part of the Cinder Shack family of vendors, where you can find both antique and new furniture, collectibles, housewares, gift items, including jewelry and candles, and so much more. Follow Zen's Antiques and Home Decor on Facebook for new items and information on upcoming events. Zen's Antiques and Home Decor in Building 2 at 3391 National Pike in Farmington. Zen's Antiques and Home Decor.
Chris Parker Jr., what's happening at Autoland for September?
September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, and Autoland wants to focus on the Hyundai Hope on Wheels program, which has donated over $275 million to pediatric cancer research with every new Hyundai purchase since 1998. Hyundai is committed to pediatric cancer research, not just in September, but every day, all year long.
September is also the beginning of fall.
It's the beginning of the 2026 Model Year 2, with falling prices, great deals, and a super selection of 2025 Hyundai. Interest rates remain high at other banks, but you can take advantage of 0% interest for 48 months on the 25 Santa Fe, or 1.99% financing for 60 months on 25 Tucsons and Sonatas, or lease a 25 Hyundai Elantra SE for only $229 per month.
And every new Hyundai comes with 3-year free complimentary maintenance and Hyundai Owner Assurance, America's best warranty, 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Autoland Hyundai, 25 East Fayette Street, Uniontown, or visit their website, AutolandHyundai.com.
And remember, you always pay less to drive the best at Autoland Hyundai.
Well, the Halloween decorations are going up once again, and that can only mean one thing. The cold weather and the snow will be here before you know it. Be ready and be safe with new tires from Tireman's Auto Garage, where you'll find the lowest tire prices in town with ACIMA financing and Snap leasing available. It's no wonder they were voted the best tire shop in Fayette County. The folks at Tireman's are also top automotive specialists. They can work on any car, can do any repair. They offer diagnostic service, alignments, oil changes, state inspections, batteries, brakes, rotors, detailing, and more. If you drove past Tireman's recently, you probably said to yourself, what's with all the golf carts? Well, they're for sale. A variety of 2-, 4-, and 6-seater golf carts, gas or electric, available with financing. And if you're interested in renting a golf cart, just call and ask. So stop in and see Joe and Kim at Tireman's Auto Garage, 9 Mill Street in Uniontown. Or call 724-425-9606.
Although a message like this usually goes only to Chesler's mailing list of prior customers, a furniture sale this big demands a big approach to communication. As Chesler's approaches the fall selling season, and as the Tennessee Enterprises trucks arrive with the newest collections, Chesler's Fine Furniture's management finds the store is overstocked with too much inventory. Everything must go to give Chesler's room for displaying all the new tables, chairs, and servers. That's bad news for us, but great news for you. Chesler's management has marked down prices dramatically on hundreds of items, all in stock for either immediate pickup or delivery into your home. You're guaranteed to save on fine crafted furniture from Tennessee Enterprises during this incredible sale, now in progress. Financing and delivery are available. Chesler's Fine Furniture, Route 51 in Uniontown, where customers send their friends.
It's the Afternoon Drive Show on a beautiful, and if you're watching me on what's this called, Nicholas, on Facebook Live.
The interwebs, yeah.
FaceTime, we'll call it.
FaceTime, chatbot.
The sun's coming in the window. Sooner or later, I'm going to have to buy new blinds, because right now, I think there's stripes on my face. I probably look like I'm in jail.
You're in jail. What did you do, Doug?
What else?
Rob a liquor store.
What else could I be? It's a beautiful day out there.
Gorgeous.
I can't see the temperature up there.
We don't have it up. I can't access it.
When Bill Madden's here,
79.
I always can see the temperature. 79 degrees. Probably feels like 83.
You're 79? Well, you look great. Oh, 79 degrees.
79 degrees. I'm only 62.
Oh, you look great, Doug.
62. I am officially eligible since my birthday in July for Social Security.
There you go. And the senior coffee at Eden Park, which would be more important to me.
I know at Kennywood, I can get the senior pass.
Oh, there you go.
At 55 is the senior pass, and that
well, they're just amazed anyone at your age can walk around Kennywood all day.
And I go on every ride there is.
Good.
Do they still have the thing that drops you like you're on a what's that? Like it's a bungee cord.
Yeah, I don't know. I know what you mean.
Sky coaster. Is that what it's called? Something like that. Yeah, I've done that. And,
wow.
But that, of the crazy things I've done, bungee jumping was much odder and stranger and scarier than skydiving.
Is that right?
Well, you're jumping off basically a crane.
Sure.
And you've got this thing connected to your feet. And you jump, and you're going head first, full speed, face first, and then you stop, 15, 20 feet from the ground. Now, the difference...
Sounds like fun.
When you're skydiving, you kind of land and boom, and you might roll and fall, but you're going pretty slow.
Yeah. Wow, you're adventurous.
So the one time that I did... this was at a county fair, not around here, another part of the state. I recall the crane they had was right inside the fence at the county fair, and there was this very colorful van there that I'm sure some of the carnies were living in. Can you say carny?
Why
is that
not?
all right?
Is that derogatory?
I don't know. Is that
it's like Teamsters for truck drivers? Anymore. Oh, I know. You'll get an email from a carny.
So we get a picture, and this is long before the internet, in a newspaper, like a day and a half, 2 days later, where the crane had, because we had parked literally right next to this crazy colored van, the crane had fallen down onto the van.
Oh, my gosh.
And I'm thinking, well, I'm glad I wasn't on the crane when it fell over.
Yeah, that would be a way to go out.
And that's not what scared me, though. It's just, skydiving, scuba diving.
Look at you.
I can handle those things.
Yeah.
You have to go skydiving, Nick. Give it a shot.
Doug, my idea of fun is drinking beer and watching football, okay? I'm not
come
adventurous
on now. You're not
like
the same person you used to be.
That's true. I'm a lot less of a man than I used to be.
Those of you who have seen Nick on Facebook Live, he is withering away. It's like he's melting.
No, I'm just getting to a normal weight. It's what I should have been the whole time.
You look fantastic. You lost, 80 pounds?
A lot. A lot.
Good grief.
All
Good
natural. I didn't even do any of the shots. Not that I look down on that, but,
Rumor has it you're running around and jogging.
I do run.
Wow, good for you, man. Yeah. That's terrific.
I'm about to turn 30.
I was at 227, so we're about the same weight. Mm-hmm. I was down to 192. Now I'm up about 205, and I'm mad at myself.
That's all right.
It's
about what I am, 205.
Yeah, I need to.
I want to get to 180. That's my goal.
180. Mine was 185. I was close, and then, the trouble is, you
food's
eat stuff
good
if it's in the house.
Exactly. And if you go out, people want to eat, and
I never eat hors d'oeuvres.
No.
That's just silly.
Or bread when they bring it to the table, no.
Oh, see,
chips.
I'm a bread eater.
I know you are.
I can't not eat bread. Can't not eat bread. Yeah, that's right.
I can't get no satisfaction.
That too.
Yeah, same thing.
That too.
Double negatives. Triple negatives.
I don't think Mick ever sang, I can't
not eat bread.
Yeah,
I don't think Mick eats bread. He's about 80 pounds.
Even the group Cold Bread doesn't sing about bread.
Right. Now we'll come with we'll have a bread liner next commercial. Thank you, Doug.
Right, and what if we do? Then that means really we're being watched by Big Brother. Or suddenly they're throwing commercials in.
Absolutely. No, I'm going to put it in. I say after the break.
Oh, you're going to put the bread? Oh, I thought you meant the bread liner.
I don't think AI is going to come up with
being an ad for bread. I thought that's what you were.
And
talking
of course,
about.
when you type bread into YouTube, it's guys with bread recipes.
Of course, bread. And there was a band I once saw at South Park. in Allegheny County called Toast, which we thought was sort of fun. And we figured was the older guys in bread. They were now Toast.
Was it a bread cover band?
Yeah, it's called Toast. No, I do remember seeing Toast.
Yeah.
A lot of cool speaking cover bands playing over at the Palace Theater. Seeger I saw. And
Bob Seger.
I remember seeing him back in the day, and there was a great interview with him one time. Maybe it was on MTV when they actually did music.
Yeah, those were the days.
And
Teen Mom.
Yeah, whatever the shows they have now are.
Ugh.
And Bob Seger, they said, Bob, you had a tough beginning. You were doing small clubs everywhere. He said, oh, my gosh, we did 3 bars a night. We didn't have any money. We were like, our dinners were like the free peanuts and pretzels at bar. And the interviewer said, but you do it all over again, right? He said, hell no.
No, exactly. I mean, it's quaint. It's nice to say, but no, they don't want to go back to
They don't want to go back and do it all over again. Driving all over Michigan, probably in somebody's old van with their guitars and amps.
Yeah, Seeger's great. Puts on a great show.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite concerts I saw. I saw Seeger years ago. I've seen him several times, but I saw him, and they were opened. The opening band was the Fabulous Thunderbirds, which was a cool band to see as well. In fact, I remember Fabulous Thunderbirds were opening for somebody, and I went there with a date, and we left after that because we didn't want to see the other band.
Well, that happens. Was it Styx? No.
Yeah, it was Styx. No. Styx is the second concert I ever saw.
Is that right?
Yes was the first.
Wow.
In 1979, 1980.
Wow. And they still haven't gone to a lyric yet. Yes, from that show. They're still playing.
22-minute songs, that sort of thing. Coming up, speaking of the internet and the inner tubes and YouTube. Coming up in a moment here, we're going to check in with Ian Sherr. He is the CBS News tech contributor. Talk about YouTube and ChatGPT teen controls. That's something you have to say very slowly. I don't think I could say that quickly without bungling it. By the way, I want to thank folks for listening this week. I was happy to host actually last week, Monday through Wednesday. Today, Monday and Tuesday, What's on Your Mind? And only once each day did I say the wrong name of the show. So I tried to limit it to just one mistake, and I called I called TJ Bill once, and Nick, and let's get all this right. The wrong names I kept saying, but that's all right. I do the same thing with my own 4 daughters. In fact, they call it when Dad goes for the cycle, is when I want to talk to one of them, and I go through all 4 names to get the correct name. Once in a while, I'll even accidentally throw in the dog's name. But that's something I inherited from my dad. And Nick's over there right now, desperately trying to call our first guest, but I'm sure any moment he's going to be with us. And then former Governor Tom Corbett's going to join us at the bottom of the hour, talking about the Eradicate Hate Global Summit, which he was part of this week here in southwestern Pennsylvania. Joining us right now on the WVU Medicine Uniontown Hospital Talk Line, CBS News tech contributor Ian Sherr. Ian, how are you? Thanks for joining us.
I'm doing all right. How are you?
Good. Wanted to check in with you about the teen controls now being reviewed and looked at and perhaps implemented by YouTube and ChatGPT. But before we answer that question, everybody knows what YouTube is, but some folks may not be familiar. They may have heard of the term and the name, but what exactly is ChatGPT?
Yeah, so ChatGPT is essentially a kind of one of those chatbots technologies using artificial intelligence. So imagine being able to have a text message conversation, but on the other end of it is not another person, but in fact a computer. And the whole idea is that this computer is able to do all sorts of things because it has basically read everything that's available on the internet. So you could ask it, for example, to figure out how many M&Ms could fit into the trunk of a Chevy Suburban. Or you could ask it to help you plan a trip that you're taking to London. And it will give you kind of broad outline ideas to help you kind of do those types of things. A lot of people use it to help them write emails and documents inside of companies, because a lot of us struggle to communicate very well. And if we do write enough and we're able to explain to the chatbot what we need to say, they tend to do a pretty good job of it.
Well, I'm happy to give my input here, and I'll be give you an example of ChatGPT, as you just mentioned, Ian. The exact number of M&Ms that can fit into a Chevy Suburban depends on the model year and configuration, Nick. I'm learning you something. You paying attention? By
of course.
filling the 173.8 cubic feet of the 23 Suburban, the smaller peanut M&Ms, you could fit 15 billion M&Ms, while the standard size, you could only get 12 billion. So there you go, Nick. Now, if someone asks you this question out on the street,
Of course, Jeopardy if I ever get on there, which I won't.
What is 15 billion M&Ms?
Mind blown, Ian.
It is kind of crazy, and I'm going to go with this because I'm not going to buy 15 billion M&Ms and try to fill a Chevy Suburban. But there's an example. I'm kidding around here, but I'm reading this online. Kind of nuts that sort of thing is instantly available.
Yes, and that's part of it. Is it's not written by a human being; it's actually written by the computer. And the way that it does this is that it actually kind of knows, because it's read enough off of the internet, how to figure out. Okay, here's the rough size of a Chevy Suburban 2023 model. Here's what the rough size of an M&M is. Here's how you calculate the volume and all of that, because that stuff exists on the internet. And it is getting to a point where the computers are smart enough to make those types of connections. Now, they're not always perfect. 15 billion, if that's not a exact number. And it's possible that there are specific things that it may get wrong. For example, if you ask it what George Washington's birthday is, depending on several factors, it might give you the right or wrong answer. And that's part of why ChatGPT is such a fascinating thing, is that it's good at some things very well, right? Writing emails, helping me kind of figure out, okay, this is probably the math equation I need, figuring out, how do I do a presentation? But if I ask it for specific facts, like how many people live in my county, it may not get that information correct, because it's not always correct on the internet either. And it's possible that it might get confused, a term that we call hallucinating.
I just got an email here at radiosaltzman@gmail.com. I'm convinced this is actually written to a person, saying, don't forget to ask Ian the reason for the interview is tell us about the teen controls on YouTube and ChatGPT. Heaven knows I probably would have forgotten, but go ahead.
It's okay. So the teen controls, what's been going on is that there's been a lot of concern, in particular, about how these things impact children and teenagers. And we've heard several instances now of people where they've been in mental distress, and these chatbots have they've gone to them, asked them questions, asked them for help, kind of treated them almost like a therapist. And the chatbot went over the edge, right? Actually encouraged them to harm themselves or pushed them further. And so now the Federal Trade Commission is getting involved. The government is actually asking AI companies to kind of look into this a little deeper, to release some information. And OpenAI, the biggest of the AI companies, has said that they're developing these features that will essentially allow parents to control the experience a little more, like having blackout hours, right? Which you can do on a phone or on a TV. Now you can do it with ChatGPT. Or you can also reduce the types of conversations that you're allowing your kids to have with it. At some point, they're even going to develop a system, they say, where they can identify when they think someone is a child and kind of limit the types of conversations that ChatGPT could have, because some people treat it like a romantic partner, and that is disturbing to a lot of parents. So that's kind of examples of where these companies are trying to kind of at least answer the concern, although, of course, it's never enough to answer the full issue.
Right. Ian Sherr joining us here on the Afternoon Drive Show. Ian, we appreciate you taking time to talk about this. Obviously, we want folks to look further into this. But again, yes. On the important topic of YouTube and ChatGPT teen controls, I just got a quick I keep getting emails popping up here. Somebody asked, what is a chat bot? What is a chat bot? Is what somebody just asked as well. So if you have a moment.
if you imagine, basically, it's a computer program that's on the other end of a text message conversation. So just like you might text a friend or a family member, instead of doing that, you're texting a computer and it's responding back to you. So it's almost like sci-fi, right? It's almost like you're at that point where the robots are there and they're talking back to you. It feels like it might be human. It's not, right? And it also, there's a lot of debate about whether it's a real thinking thing. But for the most part, it's a very complex computer program. And these things, they're incredibly good at some of the things that they do. For example, helping you with figuring out how many M&Ms fit in that Chevy Suburban.
And I'm convinced what they gave me is accurate because no one's ever going to check the details on that one. So we're going to go.
I'm sure someone will eventually. And then they'll be like,
right.
Actually,
Yeah, someone with too much time and...
if they melt, they might get a little more,
And living on a trust fund. Right, exactly. Yeah. Better keep the air conditioning on so it doesn't melt, though, depending on how you're doing it. Hey, Ian, thanks so much. We really do appreciate it.
My pleasure.
All right, thank you. Hey, we're going to take a break here, folks. When we come back, we're going to check in with former Governor Tom Corbett. He was in attendance at the Eradicate Hate Global Summit, which was held, in fact, today's the last day for the summit at the David Lawrence Convention Center in downtown Pittsburgh. We're going to talk to him coming up. But first, this is the Afternoon Drive Show on WMBS.
Concerned about your heart health? At WVU Medicine, we believe your heart deserves world-class care, close to home and always within reach. Our non-invasive cardiology team uses advanced tests like stress tests and cardiac MRI to diagnose and monitor heart conditions without surgery. Call 877-WVU, the number 4HRT, or visit wvumedicine.org/heart.
This is attorney Michael Mays of the Davis & Davis Law Firm. We have been helping injured people just like you recover millions of dollars for over 45 years. If you're hurt or injured, I want to meet you and make sure you get the money that you deserve. Call me at 724-437-2799 for your free consultation. The Davis & Davis Law Firm has been protecting our neighbors in Greene and Fayette counties for over 45 years. Go to davisanddavislaw.com or call 724-437-2799 for your free consultation.
Oak Pizza in downtown Uniontown is your one-stop shop for the most unique pizzas in the region. From the masterminds behind the Fat Angelo's franchise, Oak Pizza is the laboratory where the Fat Angelo's food scientists test their creations and let you be the judge. With traditional favorites like pepperoni and buffalo chicken pizzas to more experimental offerings like the sesame seed-infused Mad Pie or the spicy chicken pickle pizza, Oak has you covered. Order today at oakpizzas.com or by calling 724-439-5805. Your taste buds will thank you.
Route 21 Furniture, take the road to your perfect home.
Sleep well tonight. Try out a new mattress from Route 21 Furniture with a large selection of mattresses, all sizes and comfort levels, with great prices, free local delivery and setup, and financing options. Route 21 Furniture. Open weekdays 9 to 5, Saturday 10 to 5, Sunday noon to 4. 724-737-2222 or Route21Furniture.com.
Route 21 Furniture, take the road to your perfect home.
Warm weather means you'll be spending more time outside. So enjoy your deck or patio with retractable or fixed awnings from Lifetime Awnings. Made in the USA with manufacturer and customers guarantees, Lifetime Awnings products last. Lifetime Awnings is veteran-owned and operated with a 10% discount to all military veterans and their families. Call Lifetime Awnings 724-554-6067 or email John, the owner, at lifetimeawningsusa@gmail.com.
Bad hair day? Bad day at the office? Bad day behind the wheel? Hey, stuff happens, even to the best of us. At least your car insurance rate doesn't have to take a hit. Get Erie Rate Lock from Erie Insurance. Gives you a great rate that stays put until you change a car, driver, or your address. Plus, seriously good service. Now that's something to smile about.
Your Erie agent in Uniontown and Ross Traver Township is Sprowls Insurance Group, 724-437-9812, or go to sprowlsinsurance.com.
Erie Rate Lock does not guarantee continued insurance coverage and is not available in all states.
CareerLink is your one-stop resource for employment and training-related services. Visit CareerLink and you'll have access to many programs and agencies for assistance with economic, educational, and job-related needs. For more information on all the programs available to you, contact CareerLink at 724-434-JOBS. That's 724-434-JOBS.
Businesses come in all shapes and sizes. Integrity doesn't. For more than a century, the Better Business Bureau has set the standards for how businesses should operate honestly and ethically. So when you're looking for a business you can trust, check to see who's BBB accredited and who isn't. Always choose the better business. Look for the BBB seal because it's looking out for you. That's why it's the sign of a better business. And find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
Wow, your dog looks beautiful.
We went to Mutt's on Market Street, the new dog grooming salon in downtown Brownsville. Samantha, the owner, has over 10 years dog grooming experience. They work with any dog, any breed, any size.
Didn't it cost a fortune?
No, the prices are great. They offer a full line of grooming and other services.
With warm weather, now's the time to schedule an appointment for your furry friends. Mutt's on Market Street, downtown Brownsville, next to Hope Park. For more information, visit Mutt's on Market Street on Facebook. Mutt's on Market Street will be open during the Market Street repairs.
The best of bread. We were talking about bread earlier. Doug's more of a fan of toast, but bread had a good run back in the day. And the best of bread, I'm looking at their album cover, and let's just say the members of Bread, well, they look like bread, if you know what I mean. Guitar Man on WMBS. They're very white. There we go. I said it, okay? I know we're politically correct, but there you go. Bread with Guitar Man, Aubrey, another famous song of theirs.
I dated a girl in college named Kim, who Bread would come on, and she'd get so emotional, like, oh my gosh, it's Bread.
Like Elaine's boyfriend of Desperado.
Desperado.
Oh
Right.
my God! She's crying over bread. Well, I've cried back when I used to eat bread when the last piece was taken from the table. I would tear up. But
or if your mom wouldn't cut the crust off.
Oh, I hated
and
that.
was last week, for crying out loud.
Well, as Mom.
Yeah, I remember one time. I can remember this. I had a friend whose mother cut the crust off his bread, and I said,
Oh my
"Mom,
God.
can you do that?"
And he was in high school. Yeah.
She said, "No."
Wow. Tough love for Mom.
Makes your hair curly.
The crust is the best part. Yeah.
Exactly, it's the best part. For heaven's sake, it's like people who don't eat the crust on pizza.
Oh,
what's the point?
I can't deal with those people. They're not human.
If you didn't join us a moment ago, why I said Nick said I like Toast better. I did once see a band called Toast, which made me sort of laugh. There had to be.
Was it a bread tribute band?
No, it wasn't. How they came up with Toast? It had to be. Oh, let's just for fun call it Toast.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's a good one too. There's a goofy line in the television show MASH, and somebody recently referred to me as a MASH savant because I can memorize entire episodes.
Seinfeld, Barney Miller,
Exactly.
many shows.
And there was an there was an episode where Frank is talking to Margaret on the phone. She's at some conference, and he's jealous, of course, that she's talking to other people. And she said that they were talking to some guy, crushed a beer can with two fingers. I'm getting to a point with all this. And Frank said, big deal. I once killed a gopher with a stick. Which, if you look online, there is a band called I Once Killed a Gopher with a Stick.
Wow. Now, that's definitely has something to do with that line in MASH. Yeah.
There's no way it
That's
could be
not random.
Accidentally.
That's
right.
funny.
So there was a reason for that long droning on story
Well,
I
there
was
you go.
telling there.
I saw the MASH movie the other day for the first time. That's very good.
Oh, it's powerful.
It is great.
It's funny, powerful.
Yes.
It doesn't shy away from the pain of war.
No.
You know, often I watch MASH so often.
Oh, it's a
You
great
have
show.
some guy coming in, his skin is burning from phosphorus burns, and there's no screaming. There'd be someone screaming.
There would be some screaming,
But you couldn't do that on a show like that, I suppose. But the phone is ringing in the background. My guest, it's our next guest, who we were trying to get a hold of, which is why we were just filling time there. But
thanks so much. We'll get you on the
I'm pleased to have him joining us right now on the WVU Medicine Uniontown Hospital talk line. Former Pennsylvania Governor Tom Corbett. Governor, thanks for joining us today. How are you?
Good afternoon, Doug. I'm doing well. How about you?
Great. You were part of and participated in fact, today's the last day officially for the Eradicate Hate Global Summit. That was held at the Convention Center in downtown Pittsburgh. Obviously, you can get some idea of what this summit was about, given its name, but tell us your thoughts and how you became involved in it.
Well, I've been involved in it from either the first or the second year because a good friend of mine, Laura Ellsworth, was one of the leaders along with former Chancellor Nordenberg from Pitt of establishing this organization. And it is a worldwide organization with participants from around the world, either coming to Pittsburgh for this conference or Zooming in, or however you get there virtually, and participating in discussions about hate and violence and how we can try and reduce that hate and violence.
Yeah, it's a situation, and I think some people thought, my gosh, how did they put this conference together, thinking it was in response to the assassination of Charlie Kirk? And of course, that's not the case, which is exactly why I wanted to have you on to talk about it.
Yeah, this year's the 5th year.
Right, and this is just by coincidence that it happened right after that murder. But the idea is to address it on a number of issues. I was looking on their website, and the initial line might sound. It said the Global Hate Summit was formed as a response to the largest anti-Semitic attack in U.S. history, and of course that happened in Pittsburgh. So this summit is based here in Pittsburgh. Is it always held here, even though it's a worldwide summit?
It's always held here. It was as a result of the Tree of Life massacre. Is probably the best word that I could describe for what that individual did.
Absolutely.
To those congregants that were in that synagogue. And if you recall back then, 5 years or 8 years ago, I think it occurred, the gathering of everybody coming together to support the Tree of Life and the Jewish community out there. And it just people continued to talk about how do we address hate. And it's not just, religious hate. It's all kind of different types of hate that they are talking about. And how can we particularly educate our young people not to fall or follow a hateful or a violent path. Yeah. There are so many things to look at. I would encourage your listeners to look at the website, which is, I believe, eradicatehate.com, so they can get an idea of what it was like. What were you going to say?
I'm sorry to cut you off. I was just going to eradicatehatesummit.org is the website.
Summit. My fault. Thank you.
Sadly, I'm sure there's another website, but you never know what you're sending someone to, so I want to make sure. Eradicate.
I don't mind being corrected at all.
Yeah, it's one of the best things I do. Nick corrects me all the time, and usually right on the air, so our producer. So no problem with that. But again, the number of people, the numbers this year aren't in yet, of course, but last year over 1,300 participants, in person, online, 280 conference speakers, and 65 different sessions. So this is not just something to throw together so the media shows up. This is a legitimate effort to address these ongoing problems of hates. And
I think they will take a week off and start next year within a week.
No doubt. And I think I use this as an example. You never know who's living among us. And I live in Bethel Park, southern Allegheny County, and one literally half mile to the south of where I live, the Tree of Life shooter lived in an apartment, drove past his apartment building every day. You go 1/2 mile to the north of where I lived, and it was the man who almost assassinated President Trump in Butler County and, of course, killed a firefighter up there. So you don't know who's living among you. And that's the scary
exactly
thing.
Right.
It's the known unknown that scares most police officers and people trying to stop crime of any type. And that known unknown is almost impossible to determine at times unless you have somebody looking at every single bit put on the internet, and that's simply impossible these days.
It's simply impossible, but unfortunately, as I said in my opening comments to introduce Governor Shapiro, is that the internet allows anybody to say anything that they want to say, and people go and they look at it and they start to believe it. People of all ages, of all races, of all creeds, of all color, and they find we tend to look for what we like, and sometimes they hear things that just aren't true. I mean, I follow Facebook for a reason. It had to do with my 50th high school reunion, and that's the only way we were going to communicate. I don't put anything on it, but I do watch it. I watch my grandkids on it a little bit, but I also watch the things that are totally fictional, such as every once in a while you'll see, the Steelers traded X. I'll go to the Steelers website. No, nothing like that happened. So that people have to just not believe what they see there. They have to go test it before they rely on it. Unfortunately, they don't do that.
Yeah, this is now several years ago. My gosh, I can't believe it's all the way back to 2018. But right after 9/11, if you see something, say something became a very common thing,
Right.
or if you hear something. And I just remember this being what happened here in Uniontown, Fayette County. A student on a school bus heard the suspect make a threat on the bus. That student told their parents, who contacted the police, and multiple weapons were found in the bedroom of a teenager accused of threatening to carry out a shooting at the Fayette County High School. So something, just one student heard something, told his parents, they called the police. Good heavens. And this was a 14-year-old. So
the lesson was learned.
Yes, exactly. Like if you hear something, it's not wrong to pass it along. And if you're underage, let your parents know. They can decide if they think, this should be called. But in most cases, if you hear somebody threatening violence, yes, report it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think sometimes people don't see these things happening. Somebody says, "Oh, he was always threatening to kill a liberal or to kill a conservative," and we just never took it seriously. Well, you have to take it seriously.
Yes, unfortunately you do. And, there's a lot of copycatters also. They see it on the news. Oh, look what they do. I can do that too. I mean, don't you think, to a certain extent, the individual that killed Charlie Kirk was a copycatter? He saw everything else going on and said, well, I can do that. I mean, before we had this age of the internet where they can see things instantaneously, do you think they really thought about that? If they might have heard something like that on the news? I don't think so.
Right. I was using the example last week when this first happened, and most of the media is very responsible and not going to show the gruesomeness of the actual shooting, but naturally it's all over the internet because everything's videotaped these days. And I was on the show saying I haven't looked at it. I'm not going to look at it because that just gives the suspect another click. And at this point, it doesn't matter for him. Now he's under arrest. But the next person has said, my gosh, look how many clicks online Kirk got. If I do something, maybe I'll get that many. So don't give him the option. You don't need to see somebody getting shot. Life's tough enough. And I was urging listeners, said, don't do it. Don't look at it. First off, I'm sure it's god-awful gruesome. I didn't look at it. Someone sent it to me. I said, why are you sending me that? I'm not looking at it. But again, you don't want that copycat thing to continue. And this idea of the more clicks, the better these days on the internet, sadly, is what I think motivates some folks. Is that an exaggeration?
Absolutely. No, I think it's, maybe it's Andy Warhol's 15 minutes of fame, right?
Yeah, I would hope.
Everybody wants that 15 minutes of fame.
Yeah, and in a case like this, it took a young man's life, left behind his widow and children. Whether you agreed or disagreed, I didn't agree with everything Charlie Kirk said. In fact, some things I really disagreed with. But this idea that a solution is to kill the person, I don't get it. And it's both sides of the aisle, whether someone's killing an abortion doctor or in a situation like this, killing somebody who has conservative thoughts and maybe views you don't agree with.
Or killing a police officer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and during the height of the defund the police, you had chants in New York of what do we want? More dead cops. That sort of thing. That's beyond sickening. I don't. You run out of words to describe it.
Well, and it's a mob mentality, and it is a mob mentality on the internet also. And that mob mentality on the internet then gets spread to, well, everybody says they're going to do this or they're going to do that. And the extremes on both sides fan that mob mentality. And that's the unfortunate part about it, because now they have a mechanism to be able to communicate to everybody all at once.
Yeah. I mean, I was very pleased following I'll make sure I say this whole sentence right. It's going to come out wrong. After the shooting of Charlie Kirk, immediately the President of the United States said, let's lower all American flags to half-staff. But also the governor of Pennsylvania said, let's lower Pennsylvania flags to half-staff. So it wasn't one of those things where it was just condemnation from the right. It was condemnation overall. And you heard a lot of folks on both sides of the aisle, whether you agreed with him or not, this is not a way to handle the disagreement, is shooting someone dead. And it's sad that it has happened in front of so many people. And, of course, the folks who choose to look at it online. But at the same time, the only lining on this that you could learn from it is if you hear somebody even make it what seems like a marginal threat, it's worth telling somebody else. And don't become your own investigator. let the pros look into it. And there's nothing
That's
wrong if
exactly
you hear
right.
somebody making a threat, especially a threat of violence. Report it. You can do it anonymously, and the police will check into it and take care of it. Hopefully in time. I don't think that's too much to ask of people. The other day, there was a briefcase sitting somewhere, and somebody left it out at a bus stop. And I'm thinking, wow, within a year of 9/11, they would have brought the bomb squad in. So, but the question is, how far do you act? Like somebody left a briefcase behind accidentally. We found out later. But where do you stop? I guess there is a fine line of what to report, what not to report, I suppose.
Sure, but depending. I mean, frankly, if I saw a briefcase at a bus stop and nobody was around it, I'd probably just call 911 right away.
Right. If you see a bus, you see a briefcase left in a mall or something, or around a lot of people, or I guess then
Right.
you do
Same
tell the
thing.
police. You see somebody's backpack laying at a high school stadium. Better tell the police that's sitting there. But again, it's one of those things you have to be careful. It's better, old-fashioned, corny, better safe than sorry is what my mom would have told me, my grandparents.
That's like, how would you feel if you saw it and you didn't tell somebody that you saw it?
Right.
And it really was a device.
Exactly. And
how would you feel?
Yeah. Final question for Governor Tom Corbett joining us here on the Afternoon Drive Show. What was your role in the summit? What was your participation in the Eradicate AIDS?
I really did not have a role other than the introduction of the governor on this one. My schedule has been so busy the last year or two. I did not participate in any of the sessions or anything. So I was asked, and the point was, look, a Republican and a Democrat can talk about this together. They have views. I mean, Josh Shapiro and I, many things we don't agree on. But one thing we do agree on, the political violence is not the right answer, not the right aspect that people should take on anything. And, as governors, we have a certain, respect for each other that other people may not have a respect for me and may not have a respect for him. I don't really care, but I am going to treat every individual properly.
Yeah, and just the image of a former Republican governor introducing the current Democratic governor, that goes a long way. It might seem simple or overdone, but and that's why something as simple as this show, I have people from both sides of the aisle. I've had Tom Ridge on. I've had Governor Rendell on. Just yesterday, I had former Lieutenant Governor and acting Governor Mark Singal on. So I try to have both sides of the aisle on to talk about these issues, and we appreciate you, Governor Corbett, joining us today.
And all those individuals, we all talk. We all get along. We don't, you may argue when it comes to individual issues, but you're not violent about it. You're not emotional about it. And that I think is part of what's going on in this country right now, is we think emotionally first rather than trying to, reason our way through an issue.
They could probably use you in Harrisburg right now to get the budget done, but I'm not gonna give you that task. You've done that plenty of times.
Well,
over the years.
and I can tell you, I'm looking at the number, and it's so much higher than my last budget. It would be going backwards.
Yeah,
that's my political commentary on the budget.
When I first worked in Harrisburg in the late '80s, I think the budget was $12 billion. What is it now?
Yeah,
I don't even think about it. So, Governor, thanks so much. It's an honor having you on the show. Appreciate it.
Nice talking to you. We'll talk to you again.
Thank
Bye.
you. We're going to take a break here, then 6 o'clock news coming up. But first, this is the Afternoon Drive Show on WMBS.
It's a day that ends in Y, so it's a day that you might decide you don't want to cook. That means it's the perfect day to order Fat Angelo's. Offering delicious pizzas, salads, hoagies, strombolis and calzones, wings, and more. And with 12 locations across the area ready to serve you, today is the day to visit FatAngelosPizza.com, where you can quickly and conveniently find your local shop and place your order online. Or get the local phone number and give them a call. Order up!
Get more for your hard-earned dollars during these final days of the Labor Day sale at Reese Warehouse. You'll find savings throughout the store on famous name appliances and furniture, plus 12 months no interest for qualified buyers. Voted the 2024 Best in Fayette Place for mattresses and appliances. Mention WMBS and get a free bed frame with your mattress purchase. Better hurry, these are the final days at Reese Warehouse, the Superstore in Smithfield. Shop Monday through Friday from 9 until 6, Saturday 9 to 5.
Shopping for replacement windows in Fayette County? Metropolitan Window Company elevates your shopping experience.
John, Maggie, and Justin Schmutzer here from Metropolitan Window Company, a family-owned and operated window and door company for over 47 years.
When you choose Metropolitan Window Company, you'll experience personalized knowledge, expertise, and professionalism from our first visit to your home until our craftsmen complete your installation.
We're the window company that people want in their homes, and our exclusive Infinity by Marvin 100% fiberglass windows are the windows people love.
They're built for life. They are the strongest, longest-lasting windows you can buy.
We have a great selection of colors and finishes. We service the entire Fayette County area and will come to your home. Visit us at metropolitanwindows.com or give us a call at 412-655-8411.
PA 1565.
Did you know that you have a choice for your physical therapy provider? NovaCare Rehabilitation offers same-day appointments, and oftentimes you don't need a prescription from your doctor to see us. We will make sure that you are treated as an individual and will work directly one-on-one with you to help achieve your goals. You have tried the rest, now try the best. NovaCare, Delaware Avenue in Uniontown. Phone 724-437-0556 to schedule your appointment today.
CareerLink is your one-stop resource for employment and training-related services. Visit CareerLink and you'll have access to many programs and agencies for assistance with economic, educational, and job-related needs. For more information on all the programs available to you, contact CareerLink at 724-434-JOBS. That's 724-434-JOBS.
Wow, your dog looks beautiful.
We went to Mutts on Market Street, the new dog grooming salon in downtown Brownsville. Samantha, the owner, has over 10 years dog grooming experience. They work with any dog, any breed, any size.
Didn't it cost a fortune?
No, the prices are great. They offer a full line of grooming and other services.
With warm weather, now's the time to schedule an appointment for your furry friends. Mutts on Market Street, downtown Brownsville, next to Hope Park. For more information, visit Mutts on Market Street on Facebook. Mutts on Market Street will be open during the Market Street repairs.
WMBS.
And that's a wrap for hour number 1 of 3 hours of the Afternoon Drive Show. If you haven't heard me on this station enough this week, glad to host What's on Your Mind last Monday through Wednesday. This week, Monday and Tuesday. Today we had Pirate baseball. Pirates came back and tied it today, but then blew it, lost 8-4, have lost 11 of 12. Coming up in the 6 o'clock hour, we're going to check in with CBS News legal analyst Thane Rosenbaum about the Charlie Kirk murder and the legal proceedings. And then we're going to talk to Rich Fitzgerald, Executive Director of the Southwestern Pennsylvania Commission, formerly County Executive in Allegheny County, about meetings happening in Washington this week with the Allegheny Conference on Community Development. All that coming up on your local station, WMBS Uniontown. I'm Doug. That's Nick. Stick around. We're with you till 8 o'clock tonight, since the Pirates play this afternoon.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Cammie McCormick. The Federal Reserve cut its key interest rate by 1/4 point today. CBS's Jill Schlesinger.
The Fed's decision means that it will be slightly less expensive to borrow money, whether that means you carry a credit card balance or maybe getting a new auto loan or a new small business loan. But savers will not be able to earn as much on those money markets, those high-yield savings accounts, and those short-term CDs.
The Fed indicated it will make 2 more cuts this year. Former CDC Director Susan Menares was questioned by lawmakers today about her firing by Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy. She says he wanted her to sign off on new vaccine recommendations, but didn't have the data to back them up.
Is there any precedent for a CDC director to be asked to pre-approve vaccine recommendations without ever having actually seen the recommendations themselves or the medical and scientific evidence backing them up?
I have never experienced that.
The CDC advisory panel is expected to release its recommendations this week. Some western states have issued their own. California Governor Gavin Newsom.
The West Coast is taking action, grounded in evidence and safety and transparency, issuing new recommendations for our residents, starting with a vaccine schedule for the winter virus season.
FBI Director Kash Patel faced more heated questions today from lawmakers about releasing Epstein files. Senator Pramila Jayapal.
I would like to ask
the gentlelady's time has expired. I gave her the additional 45 seconds she requested. The gentlelady yields back. The gentleman from New Jersey is recognized for his 5 minutes.
If you would meet with the women who were sexually abused and raped and groomed at the ages of 14 and 16 years old. Are you going to cover up?
Jim Krasula reports there's new scrutiny of federal immigration tactics.
U.S. Customs and Immigration Enforcement put more than 10,500 people in solitary confinement. That's according to a new study from Physicians for Human Rights. From February to May of this year, the number of individuals placed in solitary confinement by ICE increased by an average of nearly 7% per month.
King Charles welcomed President Trump to Windsor Castle for a state banquet.
This unique and important occasion reflects the enduring bond between our two great nations.
On the streets of London,
Donald Trump, you can't hide!
We charge you with genocide!
More than 50 protest groups marched to Parliament. Thousands of police officers were out. On Wall Street today, stocks finished mixed. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Oak Pizza in downtown Uniontown is your one-stop shop for the most unique pizzas in the region. From the masterminds behind the Fat Angelo's franchise, Oak Pizza is the laboratory where the Fat Angelo's food scientists test their creations and let you be the judge. With traditional favorites like pepperoni and buffalo chicken pizzas to more experimental offerings like the sesame seed-infused Mad Pie or the spicy chicken pickle pizza, Oak has you covered. Order today at oakpizzas.com or by calling 724-439-5805. Your taste buds will thank you.
Wow, your dog looks beautiful.
We went to Mutt's on Market Street, the new dog grooming salon in downtown Brownsville. Samantha, the owner, has over 10 years dog grooming experience. They work with any dog, any breed, any size.
Didn't it cost a fortune?
No, the prices are great. They offer a full line of grooming and other services.
With warm weather, now's the time to schedule an appointment for your furry friends. Mutt's on Market Street, downtown Brownsville, next to Hope Park. For more information, visit Mutt's on Market Street on Facebook. Mutt's on Market Street will be open during the Market Street repairs.
Scientists say solar activity is increasing after a long lull. Here's Steve Kathan.
NASA says the sun has become more and more active over the last 16 years. Scientists say the surprising increase could affect space weather and technology on Earth. For decades prior to 2008, solar activity was low. Now, with increased activity, there could be more solar storms and flares, and changes could impact power grids and GPS. During the 1980s and 90s, activity on the sun had reached its weakest point on record. Last year, NASA recorded the strongest geomagnetic storm in more than 20 years. Steve Kathan, CBS News.
The Taliban in Afghanistan is expanding its crackdown on the internet, severing fiber optic connections in several provinces. Kabul's network was built to bring the country closer to the rest of the world and lift it out of poverty. I'm Cammie McCormick, CBS News.
The award-winning local, district, and statewide news is being brought to you by Point Hill Living Care Home of Point Marion. Offering customized care for all residents, Point Hill Living Care Home is committed to compassionate care and personalized support. And now the news.
Good afternoon. Sunny at 6:05 on this Wednesday. Beautiful late summer day. School should just be starting this week, right, Doug? Absolutely. It's 78, and we are going down to 55 tonight. We are under an air quality alert through 4 p.m. Thursday. Much more on the Weather Watch and the sports in just a bit. And 2 men will be charged in connection with the death of a missing 17-year-old girl whose body was found on an abandoned property in Fayette County last year in North Union Township. Charges of interference with the custody of children, concealing the death of a youth, and abuse of a corpse, and hindering apprehension have been filed against 37-year-old Derek Dream Bradley in the death of 17-year-old Caitlin Woolery, the Fayette County District Attorney's Office announced this afternoon, and similar charges are expected against a 44-year-old Vincent Cosell, the DA's office said. Woolery went missing in late 2023 after investigators said she left a drug treatment facility for a home visit and never came back. Woolery's body was found in the spring of 2024, 5 months later on abandoned properties in North Union Township. The DA's office at Pennsylvania State Police in the city of Uniontown were investigating, and further forensic testing, evidence collection, and interviews led to those charges being announced today at a Fayette County court. A man's body has been recovered at a Westmoreland County park. Water rescue and dive teams responded today to search for a man reported missing at Acme Lake in Mount Pleasant Township. Crews were dispatched to the area of Acme Dam and County Line roads shortly after 1 in the afternoon today. One kayaker was rescued. It's believed the two friends were in an accident on the water. It's not known what caused that accident. The Westmoreland County Housing Authority is approving the new operating budget for the upcoming fiscal year. The board voted in favor of a roughly $17 million spending plan this week. Around $13 million will go toward running the authority's 1,600 public housing units, and the remaining funds will cover administrative costs. The new fiscal year begins October 1st, 2 weeks from today. The Southmoreland School District is now in a legal battle with its teachers' union over insurance coverage for prescription weight loss drugs. The district has filed a lawsuit in Westmoreland County Court in Greensburg, asking a judge to overturn an arbiter's decision that sided with the union. The district's decision to stop covering these drugs was based on independent audits which claim their insurer, Highmark, improperly paid more than $1.9 million in the previous year for specific medications not covered by the district's plan, and among that, more than $9,000 for weight loss drugs. The district says these drugs were never supposed to be a part of the existing prescription plan. And the Doors, who recorded a live album in Pittsburgh at the Civic Arena in 1970, have a new Blu-ray box set out this week.
To make the queen of the angels sigh. Hello, I love you, won't you tell me your name? Hello, I love you.
The Doors, Immersed, 1967 to 1971, will include the band's 6 studio albums on Blu-ray for the first time. It will be available exclusively on thedoors.com and rhino.com on October the 24th. The band has been celebrating their 60th anniversary all year long with new reissues, an anthology book, and more. I'm Mark Mayfield.
Well, if anyone wants to buy me a Christmas or birthday gift, there you go. 6:09, sports and weather next on WMBS.
Point Hill Living Care Home is an all-new personal care home conveniently located in Point Marion and is now accepting new residents. Point Hill Living is committed to providing comfort and support while allowing residents to maintain their independence and enhance their quality of life. With a dedicated staff and experienced advanced care team, Point Hill Living offers fully customized care plans for all residents, while also ensuring a sense of community and engagement, making Point Hill feel like home. Multiple care levels are available, from basic plans to fully customized and enhanced plans, including options for medical monitoring and full-time dedicated assistance. If you are looking for a high-quality care home close to home, look no further than Point Hill Living Care Home at 300 Union Street in Point Marion. Call them today at 724-725-5533 to learn more, or visit them at pointhillliving.com. Point Hill Living Care Home, where our residents are family.
In sports, the Steelers made 2 roster moves on the defensive line today, placing Isaiah Loudermilk on injured reserve and signing DeMarvin Leal to the 53-man roster. Head coach Mike Tomlin says Loudermilk has a high ankle sprain. Steelers will battle the Patriots in New England. Both teams are 1-1. Sunday at 1 o'clock on WMBS. In baseball today, Cubs beat the Pirates at PNC 8-4. Bucks have lost 11 of their last 12. The Cubs clinched a playoff spot today. They'll be going to the postseason for the first time in 5 years. The Pirates wrap up their home schedule this weekend against the Athletics. We'll bring you the game Saturday on WMBS. Penguins today unveiled the team's training camp roster ahead of the 2025-26 season. The roster features 69 total players, 37 forwards, 24 defensemen, and 8 goaltenders, and 5 additional players will attend but are injured and not medically cleared to participate. They are Noelis Akari, Rutger McGroarty, Tanner Howe, Bill Zonin, and Payne Kettles. Training camp starts Thursday tomorrow at the UPMC Lemieux Sports Complex. All practices are free there and open to everyone. And just like at St. Vincent for the Steelers. And Ben Kindle, the 11th overall pick in the draft, will also attend the camp with the Penguins and new head coach Dan Muse. Penguins begin the preseason Monday on the road at 7 o'clock against Montreal, with Marc-Andre Fleury expected to be in net. Penguins begin the regular season at the Rangers October 7th. Home opener on the 9th against the Islanders. Now the WMPS weather watch for all of southwest Pennsylvania. Right now sunny and 78. Feels like we're in the mid-80s, and we have an air quality alert through 4 p.m. Thursday for the area. Tonight low at 56, 86 Thursday, low tomorrow night at 57, 87 with sun. Friday 86 Saturday, clouds and sun Sunday, topping out at 84, 83 Monday with rain overnight, low at 66. A chance for rain Tuesday at 81. Nice end of summer going into autumn. Beautiful weather right now. Sunny and 79 at 6:11 on this Wednesday evening. And good evening from the Davis & Davis studios at WMBS. I'm Nick Barczyk. CBS World News Roundup at 7. This hour, more of the Afternoon Drive Show with Doug Saltzman on WMBS.
The local, district, and statewide news was brought to you by Point Hill Living Care Home. Conveniently located in Point Marion, call them today at 724-725-5533 to see if their services are right for you and your loved one.
Shopping for replacement windows in Fayette County? Metropolitan Window Company elevates your shopping experience.
John, Maggie, and Justin Schmutzer here from Metropolitan Window Company, a family-owned and operated window and door company for over 47 years.
When you choose Metropolitan Window Company, you'll experience personalized knowledge, expertise, and professionalism from our first visit to your home until our craftsmen complete your installation.
We're the window company that people want in their homes, and our exclusive Infinity by Marvin 100% fiberglass windows are the windows people love.
They're built for life. They are the strongest, longest lasting windows you can buy.
We have a great selection of colors and finishes. We service the entire Fayette County area and will come to your home. Visit us at metropolitanwindows.com or give us a call at 412-655-8411.
PA 1565.
In a world of big corporations and interpersonal experiences, there's something truly special about family-owned businesses. For over 70 years, the Mike Kelly Automotive family has been serving the community with integrity, honesty, and a commitment to putting families first. And we're not stopping anytime soon. Our commitment to excellent sales and service remains stronger than ever. Visit us today and experience the Mike Kelly Automotive difference. Because when you buy from us, you buy from family.
Yeah, they're the people I trust. It's the place I go. Home Warehouse, where a house becomes a home.
A Best in Fayette winner for windows and home improvements, Home Warehouse in Uniontown knows how to make your house a happy home. Seasons are changing. Save on energy costs, keep out drafts, and update your home with beautiful new windows, doors, and storm doors from Home Warehouse, your one-stop shop for all your exterior building needs. Roofing shingles, metal and commercial rubber roofing, shutters, siding, soffit and fascia, railing and decking, as well as driveway cedar, flooring, wood pellets at great prices, and don't forget the dog food. So for selection and hometown service, see Sandy and Donnie at Home Warehouse, Carlsville Street in Uniontown. Shop Monday through Friday, 8 to 4:30, Saturday till noon, closed Sunday and holidays.
Home Warehouse, where a house becomes a home.
Are you considering a project design and don't know where to start? K2 Engineering offers a wide range of professional civil, architectural, and municipal services to meet your individual project needs. Our versatility combined with our personalized approach is what sets us apart as a full-service engineering and consultation firm. To learn more about our services, please visit us on the web at www.k2engineering.net. K2 Engineering, where customer service is our priority.
Hey everybody, Friday night under the lights are back. High school football is more than a game. It's about community, teamwork, and pride. Just like our local heroes who serve our nation, Fayette County Recorder of Deeds is proud to honor our veterans with the Veteran ID program. By recording your DD214, veterans can receive a secure photo ID and access discounts at participating local businesses. Support our student athletes, support our veterans. Together we build a stronger Fayette County.
CareerLink is your one-stop resource for employment and training-related services. Visit CareerLink and you'll have access to many programs and agencies for assistance with economic, educational, and job-related needs. For more information on all the programs available to you, contact CareerLink. at 724-434-JOBS. That's 724-434-JOBS.
Welcome back, as we say, to the Afternoon Drive Show on a beautiful, what is this day? Today's Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Beautiful Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Right
I like
now.
how you say that.
Wednesday?
Yeah.
Wednesday,
My
that's-
aunt used to say Wednesday, Thursday.
Wednesday,
God love her.
Thursday.
That must be an
My
old
dad
school
had
thing.
some classics. It was a chimney, not a chimney. Years ago, there was a mayor in Pittsburgh named Pete Flaherty. Everybody
Yeah.
called it Flaherty. I think Bill Burns, legendary Bill Burns from KDK TV2,
Yeah.
would say Flaherty.
Mayor Flaherty.
And Bill Burns, who used to smoke while doing the news. 'Cause
Patty and Daddy, right?
Patty and Daddy, right? That's right. It was the first ever. That was very unusual. I have two people doing the news, let alone a father and daughter. The one time there was a push back when there was swine flu was a thing, and Bill wanted Patty to get her swine flu inoculation. Have you gotten your shot yet for swine flu, Patty? Said, Dad, I know we've talked about this. Let's talk about it later. They had
On
that
the air?
on
Oh,
the
that's
air.
cute.
And he would be good. Some acid head drove off the side of the parkway today and hit a tree. That would be
Jesus.
Bill Burns.
Wow. Bill Burns. Those were the days, man.
There's a
John Cigna.
As you're walking down well, he was on the radio.
Yeah, I know, but just old Pittsburgh talkers.
As you're
Yeah.
walking down the hall at KDK TV in downtown Pittsburgh and Gateway Center, there's a photo of Bill Burns, has to be 5 foot by 5 foot, and he's got a cigarette in his mouth.
Oh, those were the days. Myron Cope, I don't think ever did a Steeler game where he wasn't smoking.
Bill Burns, actually, despite the foibles, good word, he
Yeah,
had.
it's good.
He also was one of the first people to go out and interview people in the field.
In the
for
field,
local
yeah.
TV. He'd be at a hospital interviewing some guy laying in bed.
Wow.
Who was in a fire.
You know who's the best, and he does studio. He's been around forever. John Shumway. They say he's the best field reporter in ever.
Yeah, no, I think
Traffic. He's an expert. He's great.
At one point, he was doing full-time radio.
Yeah.
And then a reporter in the afternoon.
He
Did
was
the guy ever sleep?
Busy guy, and I think he drove a school bus too. That was Bob Cosma.
That was
God
Bob
love
Cosma,
him.
Who,
Yeah.
God rest his soul. He would do like the noon news, the noon weather, go drive a school bus, come back and do the 6 o'clock news.
What a guy. Yeah.
the great-
Patrice, oh God, what was her name? Patrice King Brown?
Patrice King Brown.
They say, someone said, they were out, who worked with her, and said, is she as nice on the air in real life as she is on the air? No, she's nicer. Yeah. She was a sweetheart. And I remember seeing her. I think her daughter danced down here. My mom used to see her back in the day when my sister danced in the 90s.
Somewhere we were in a card store one time, and we're sitting there laughing at these crazy cards, and I didn't realize who the woman was. And my then girlfriend, later wife, now ex-wife, said, that was Patrice King Brown you were talking to.
Yeah, she was great on the air. So many great anchors and newscasters over the years.
Yeah, they really have been.
And we're just honored to be a small part of that in the region.
That's right. We're
still
part of
waiting
the
for our
brotherhood.
award. That's right. The Emmys were this weekend. We didn't win one, even though we're on TV now, pretty
That's right,
much.
we are can you get a FaceTime Emmy?
The best Facebook Live broadcast goes to Doug Saltzman. There you go. You're up there with Stephen Colbert.
Thank you. Oh, yeah, he won. He won an award. I think just because
He's
let's
getting
give it to him.
canceled,
He's
yeah.
leaving. And then he asked, "Is anybody hiring?" Somebody should ask him. Why don't you cut your whatever he's making a year, $20 million a year? Maybe you could save the show. Although it's been losing $40 million a year.
Cut your staff. I don't want people to lose their jobs, but they had 200 people. Maybe go to 100. I don't know. Keep the show alive.
I don't. But yeah, a $40 million debt. Not too many shows are staying on the air. I can't believe they didn't cut them right. Okay, you're done.
Yeah, I think late nights probably. I think the Tonight Show, because it's been around forever, will stick around. SNL will stick around, but
they just seem to be doing the same thing over and over and over, and expecting different results. As I've said, that's what Howard. I almost said Howard Cosell. Where did
Hughes?
that come from? No, I meant to say Albert Einstein. Wow, that's mixing up two people. He was the one who said do the same thing over and over and expect different results. It's the definition of insanity. I'm guessing there's other definitions of that as well. But yeah, the late night talk shows, and we've talked about that a lot on the air. We've talked about it with Rob Owen from the Tribune Review. They seem to be doing the same thing over and over and over again, and for some reason, they expect different results. I don't know. They've gone completely to the left, naturally, and they're not just canning, I was going to say, or firing hosts. They're getting rid of shows. So we'll see what happens, what they bring back after Colbert is off the air. But joining us right now on the WVU Medicine Uniontown Hospital Talk Line, our good friend from CBS News, legal analyst, author, analyst. Someday we are going to talk to you about your other professions, and you've got about 7 of them. Thane Rosenbaum. How are you, Thane?
Great hearing your voice, Doug, always.
Yeah, thank you for joining us, as always. The Charlie Kirk murder, the legal proceedings have begun. Very short the other day, but that's not all that unusual for an initial court appearance in a situation like this, correct?
Especially when you don't have a lawyer.
Yeah, I don't understand. How could they even bring
He didn't have a lawyer. He just gave his name.
Right.
And, the purpose of this is, they call it in Utah a criminal investigation document. Normally, we hear about an indictment, the unsealing of an indictment. What that means is you reading to the defendant, here are the charges against you. How do you plead? So they read him the charges against him, but he didn't plead anything because he didn't have a counsel. So he'll be back on September 29th, hopefully with counsel. I assume he's going to plead not guilty, even though there really is, in this instance, one of those situations where you have a mountain of evidence. He confessed to friends via text. He told his father about it. His father was the one who encouraged him to surrender. There's plenty of, he left an incredible social media footprint of his rage against Charlie Kirk in particular, but people who were against the trans community. Motive is not crucial in Utah, but it doesn't really matter because the other element is there called opportunity, where he literally used the word at dinner with his family. He said, Charlie Kirk is coming to the university, so there's really an opportunity to kill him if someone wanted to do that.
So that falls under the, if you see something, say something. We were just talking about that earlier with former Governor Tom Corbett from Pennsylvania. But I guess you say something like that, it doesn't sound like it's perhaps a threat, but I guess it's based on what someone's previous behavior may have been like.
I don't know what the governor said. I don't know if he's a lawyer, but my students over the years have always been surprised to learn that unlike other Western democracies, the United States does not have a duty to rescue.
Explain
it came
what
up.
that is.
I wrote about this actually during the Penn State Paterno crisis because people were saying, "Well, Paterno knew something, and so he should have said something. He should have done something." And I wrote something for the Daily Beast about except that we live in a country that has no affirmative duty to rescue someone else. We only hold you responsible for the affirmative actions that you take. You can stand at a dock and watch someone drown with a life preserver right at your feet, and there's nothing criminal, and there's certainly not even a tort for you not to throw it in to save them.
Right. Well, I should point out, the governor did not say someone should be arrested for not pointing it out. Just
No, I know. I'm just saying, I don't know what he said, but this is always a surprise to people, right. As if to say, see something, tell somebody. And it's like, not really. The difference is actions that you took on your own in furtherance of the crime. So, remember the Tsarnaev brothers, the Boston Marathon bombers?
Right.
Right? The younger boys who's still in jail, by the way, the younger brother had best friends who were his roommates. And he called them after the crime and he said, I have some backpacks, I want you to go hide it. And everyone knew they were looking for him. So they hid the backpacks. And the FBI came slamming through the door a couple days later and arrested them, and they were sentenced because they were accomplices. So that's a little different. They took an affirmative step. The question here is, he's been charged with tampering with witnesses, but I'm wondering whether there was also someone, he's told, to bring a gun, wrap it up, and put it in the bushes. That person might end up, again, that's an affirmative act. Right. That's not just hearing something. That's a little different. So we're going to learn more about his buddies and what they knew and what they did to help, if anything.
Yeah. We often kid on this show about the television show Seinfeld. And as we're talking about this topic,
yes.
the crime of criminal indifference, which they were charged with fictitiously,
the
of course,
final
in the finale.
episode.
Right, exactly.
The final yeah.
So tell us.
I love that you knew that.
I'm a Seinfeld savant. I think
I love that you knew that. You're probably less than 0.1% of the.
And Nick's the other
I
one
wrote
over
about
there.
this.
Yeah, Nick is the other one.
Nicky knows everything.
Oh, yeah, he does know. And he thinks he does, too.
No, I wrote a book one of my books, The Myth of Moral Justice, actually talks about that chapter in the context of what I just said about Joe Paterno. Because there are some states, they never enforce it, except that they did on Seinfeld. There are a few states, Vermont and Massachusetts, where there are either good Samaritan laws or bad Samaritan laws, right? Either you are obligated to help or you're not punished for helping. Because that's the other thing that's silly about our system. In our system, if you try to rescue and you break someone's arm, you're responsible for the broken arm. So there's a disincentive. Why would I rescue somebody? If I pull them out of the river and they break their arm, I'm technically responsible for the broken arm. So our system is completely, screwy. This is not true of any other Western country. Canada, all throughout Europe, they have duty to rescue. Larry David came up with this brilliant idea. This show is really about a bunch of people who just make each other laugh and don't care about anybody. They don't care about. Yeah. So what if they crash landed into a state where they had an opportunity to rescue somebody and they had a Good Samaritan law? And that's what that episode is about. It's one of the few states. And I think they literally were in a plane over Vermont. Vermont is one of those states. The other thing is that it's true that a few states have the laws, Doug, but they never enforce it. So they only enforced it on Seinfeld.
I think it was in Massachusetts, wasn't it, Nick? Yeah, the plane
maybe.
went down in
Nick will know.
Massachusetts. Not that we know everything about Seinfeld, but it was
not everything.
Yeah. I'm guessing Massachusetts might have one of those. And it
yeah. There's no doubt that Massachusetts and Vermont are among the. Right. I think it's only 5 or 6, and those are 2 of them. Again, I would argue that they're on the books symbolically because they never enforce it, and someone must have told Larry David about that because he's not a lawyer. He must have come up with this idea, what you just said before, about people who just don't care about people. They're just there to make fun of them and mock them. Well, what would happen if you were in a state that treated that as a crime?
And it didn't help, of course, that Kramer was videotaping their mocking of this, of the fact that this rather obese comedian.
Yeah, I remember that. Exactly. I remember what that episode was about. I know. I thought it was.
It's a good idea to mug the fat. It's an easy getaway. That didn't help their case.
It was an original comedic idea, and no one. And I think most people don't realize what first-year law students discover in torts. That actually in the United States there is no obligation to do that, except in a couple states, and it's so infrequent that the students never even hear that a half a dozen states do it, because it's just something here that we just don't do. It's just not. It's very much like a Jeffersonian principle. We hold you accountable for your life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. Your actions or what we monitor. We don't monitor your inactions. If you're standing around minding your own business, you're never responsible for anything.
Yeah, a friend of mine I went to college with, who later in life went to law school, had a law school professor talk about criminal indifference following the Seinfeld episode, of course. I'm sure that happened at a lot of law schools around the country, as we talk with Thane Rosenbaum from CBS News on the ongoing proceedings related to Charlie Kirk. Almost subconsciously was he trying to get caught. I mean, he just, you shoot a gun, you use a towel, you don't wear gloves, you're leaving DNA. You have to wonder sometimes, did he purposely want to get caught?
It's the new ethic, Doug. We saw that in connection with the guy who killed the 2 people coming out of the Capitol Museum in Washington, D.C., out of the Jewish Museum in Washington, D.C., who were killed. And then the guy in Denver who set fire to some pro-Israel protesters or people who wanted to see the return of the hostages. Neither one of those guys ran away. Right. They just stood there. And when the police showed up, they said, "Free Palestine." It's the new ethic. You could commit these crimes. You don't really even run away. You just stand there and tell everyone what you were doing and why.
Yeah, of course, the worst anti-Semitic killing in American history was not far from our station here in Pittsburgh, the Tree of Life Synagogue.
That's right. That's right. And which I learned. You know what I learned? Sorry to interrupt you, Doug. I learned that your coach, what's his name? That he's won a number of Super Bowls for the Steelers. No, the head coach. What's his name?
Mike Tomlin.
Mike Tomlin, the current.
Mike Tomlin.
Okay.
Yeah, Tomlin lives there, and apparently he's. it was very moving. He, felt very much part of the Jewish community of Squirrel. What's it called?
Squirrel Hill.
Squirrel.
Squirrel Hill.
Yeah,
is where the
yeah.
Jewish
Apparently,
community
I was very moved by that. That he was one of the first people that showed up to show support.
Yeah. I mentioned this during our last interview. You never know who's living among us. That Tree of Life shooter lived half a mile from my house, where I live now.
No kidding.
And I drive past his apartment
Wow.
every day.
Wow.
And I'll say it again. I said this earlier. I've said it before. He's half a mile south of where I live, half a mile north of where I live, was the man who almost assassinated President Trump. They literally live a mile
What?
apart. Yeah.
The guy in West Palm Beach, the guy that went to
No, not
wow.
that one. The
Palm
one in
Beach.
Butler, PA, who actually shot the
that's
president.
right. The one in PA, right?
Ended up
Yeah,
killing
yeah, well, he came closer.
Yeah, my gosh.
Right. When you said almost, I thought
okay.
I forgot. I forgot. The
But
first one actually did.
These two
came
men
much
lived
closer.
less than a mile apart. So
what's in the water in Pennsylvania?
I don't know, or in that neighborhood. You never know who's living among us. Is the point I was making of that.
Yeah.
Heaven knows, I'd probably pass these guys in a shopping mall or a grocery store. So you never know. And this ongoing case now with Charlie Kirk, is this going to be years and years of legal wrangling?
Yeah, unless he pleads guilty, and I have a feeling that the prosecution will want to make, they'll want the state of Utah to have their day in court. In other words, they may not even offer him a plea.
Right.
They may say, we'll spend millions of dollars on this to make the statement that we want to prosecute the man who did this. There's another interesting one of the charges. I don't know the answer to this, even though I suspect I should. That's what you pay me for. Was committing a dangerous act in front of a child.
Yeah,
I've never even heard that crime.
Either did I. Either.
It's in you. And you know what? I looked at that and I went, "What is that about?" And you know what I think that is, Doug? The Kirk children. It's
Right.
about them. It had to be about them because it's a university. There were no children there. So it had to be that the father of their father was assassinated in front of them. And I thought that was an unexpected charge, came out of nowhere. I never heard of it before. Obviously, it exists in Utah. But that I thought was, the other stuff everybody knew, aggravated murder, because you can't get to the death penalty in Utah unless it's called aggravated murder. So I knew, they're going for the death penalty. They're going to charge him with the most that they can. Using a firearm felony, that they use the firearm. But that piece was new, and I thought, well, they're trying to make a statement. You assassinated a young father in front of his children.
Yeah. Recently here we had a tragedy not far from our station where a woman killed her child. He was only about 4 or 5 years old, Nick, and they were talking about this idea. And it reminded me of a piece of legislation that I drafted many years ago when I worked for a state senator in Pennsylvania, Mike Fisher, called homicide by abuse, that a child being abused so many times over the years eventually caused the death. And I was trying to figure out, I was trying to figure out, did that pass into law? I can't remember if it did or not. In fact, I was going to call
That's so interesting.
my former boss,
I
who's
would
now a
think-
federal judge, to see if that...
He's now a federal judge?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
I would think that it might not have initially, but, we have become, it's like what happened with the Menendez brothers.
Right.
The Menendez brothers' lawyer said, at the time of their trial, no one even really knew anything about parental abuse, sexual abuse. No one knew about it. No one ever talked about it. So that when it came up in the first trial, the jury ignored it, and the judge didn't really allow it. So therefore, they didn't receive a fair trial because they received the trial when no one cared about it. But in the modern era, post, the Joe Paterno story, post Catholic priests, parish priests, pedophilic priests, now we're very sensitive to this. That was their main argument, that they would not have received this sentence, that there would have been much more sympathy for them. So it's possible that the legislation you worked on may have been early.
Yeah, this would have been 89, 90, so that was a long time
early.
ago.
Early. That people wouldn't understand what that means.
I might give Judge Fisher a call. He's now a senior
Give him
judge,
a call.
Third Circuit. Did that ever pass into law? I can't find it. Trying to find it online.
He'll know.
Yeah, he would know. Absolutely, he would. He later became Attorney General of the state of Pennsylvania. So, yeah,
Wow.
he would know that.
Is there anyone that's super famous in the state of Pennsylvania that you and Nikki don't know?
No, Doug knows everyone.
Well, we
not
try.
me, but
we try to know. We're not always that. And they don't know why.
I didn't say everyone. I didn't say everyone likes Doug, but they know him. Yeah,
Yeah, that's right. I don't know if
Because I don't think all the years we've been together, I don't think we've ever done one of these that a name didn't pop up that you guys knew.
That's it. That's it.
I don't. Do I have an interesting career? I just couldn't keep a job.
Yes.
One of the two.
You
I don't
do.
know what it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
oddly enough.
Bouncing
Yeah.
around. A name dropper. Yeah.
Exactly. Thane, thanks so much.
Yeah.
We really do
That
appreciate
was
you
fun.
joining us.
All right, guys. Good
Thanks,
hearing your
Dave.
voices.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Great guy. Knows the stuff.
Yes, he really does. Speaking of name dropping, former Allegheny County Executive Rich Fitzgerald is
Oh,
going to
my
join us.
God.
He is now Executive Director of the Southwestern Pennsylvania Commission. We're actually late getting to him, so let's take that break and we'll get back to him in a moment. Thanks for listening. We'll be right back.
Attention, active and retired coal miners. Have you been screened for black lung? Here at the Black Lung Clinic at Centerville Clinics, we offer yearly screenings, diagnosis, education, and treatment options to help you live a fuller, healthier life. We provide care regardless of your ability to pay. Call Centerville Clinics today at 724-632-6801. Do it today. Looking for a new spot for a night out? Then check out Shindig's Bar and Grill in Uniontown, located in Oliver Square. With regular live entertainment and themed events, and offering 6 diamond pool tables and 3 dartboards, Shindig's is the place to be. Enjoy daily specials, including Tuesday wing night, Friday's Cajun chicken Alfredo, and Saturday's incredible crab leg dinner. And stick around for karaoke nights, live music, and so much more. Follow them on Facebook at Shindig's with a Z Bar and Grill. Shindig's, your hootenanny hotspot. Hard work, respecting others, and being a good team member are values that South Union Township Supervisor Jason Scott knows well. Whether he's running a machine, repairing storm drains, operating a plow truck, or working with his fellow supervisors on economic growth, Jason Scott is working every day to keep residents safe, maintain the strength of our local businesses, and enhance the quality of life in South Union Township. Best wishes for a great season from Jason Scott, who would appreciate your vote for Township Supervisor.
Paid for by the candidate.
Now is the perfect time to upgrade your outdoor area with a new fence from All Around Fence Company. Conveniently located at 7896 National Pike, Uniontown. All Around Fence has been installing quality residential, commercial, and farm fencing for more than 45 years. Offering residential fencing including chain link, decorative aluminum, steel, and more, All Around Fence has the fence for you. All Around Fence is also your one-stop shop for Nutrena products and also carries livestock, equine, and pet supplies. So if you need to upgrade an existing fence, add a new gate, or are considering the installation of an all-new fence, All Around Fence has the answers you need. Visit them Monday through Friday from 8:30 to 5 p.m. and Saturdays from 9 to 1, or give them a call at 724-439-0331. To learn more, visit allaroundfence.com.
Your heat on the fritz? Did your AC stop working? Your pipes backed up? Did your lights go out? Well, for all your heating, air conditioning, electric, and plumbing emergencies, CHIPS Residential Services is here for you. Located right in Uniontown and offering 24-hour emergency service, let the experts at CHIPS help you through all your emergency needs as well as installation and regular service. Call 724-366-8046 to get the help you need today. Your hometown team of technicians, CHIPS Residential Services.
That is Jim Morrison and the Doors bring us out of the break. So, Nick, you had on the news earlier, they're coming out with a box set.
Absolutely, a Blu-ray box set. I'm not sure if Blu-ray's even a thing.
Blu-ray?
Yeah,
Really?
but the Doors, who had a live show, as I mentioned, at the Civic Arena, they recorded a live album 55 years ago this month. How about that?
Now, that's good memory, Nick. Were you at the show?
No, I looked this up, Doug.
You looked it up,
I used
could have been
something
at
called
the show,
Google.
But I
You
would
could
have
have
been
been
7.
Your mom wouldn't have allowed
My mom
you.
wouldn't let me go see the Doors, and I was
No.
27, probably.
What's that smell, Mom?
Yeah,
she wouldn't know either.
She tore down my Farrah Fawcett poster 10 minutes after I put it up, for heaven's sakes.
Oh, that was a good one back in the day.
So much for that.
Yeah.
Joining us, not to talk about the Doors or Farrah Fawcett, on
what a
the
shame.
WVU Medicine Uniontown Hospital Talk Line, the Executive Director of the Southwestern Pennsylvania Commission, former Allegheny County Executive, Rich Fitzgerald. Rich, thanks so much for joining us today. How are you?
Great to be with you, Doug. Yeah, doing well. Just got back from D.C.
And I heard you on another radio show today. Of course, we never mention those other radio stations because we're the only one that exists.
You mean there is another radio
There is
station?
another
I
radio
can't
station,
believe
right?
that.
And you were saying that we should never complain about Pittsburgh and southwestern PA traffic once you drive on the Beltway in Washington, D.C., which when we used to go down there, we used to go on vacation a lot when I was a kid. My mother would close her eyes as my dad was trying to circumvent, 6 lanes of traffic to get to an exit ramp. But yeah, our traffic around here isn't great, but it's not D.C., thank heavens. And they just seem to keep building more roads and roads and more roads down there, and it doesn't seem to make any difference. Well, you were down there, of course, with the Allegheny Conference on Community Development, the Greater Pittsburgh Chamber of Commerce, which takes in this whole region, for a series of meetings with our local representatives. Give us some idea of why those meetings take place, and how long has the conference been doing this?
Well, I've been doing it for about 20 years, and I know they've been doing it before then, and I'm assuming back in the day, I remember one of those visits was to Senator Specter, as we would make the rounds to the delegation meaning the congressional folks who represent the area and the 2 U.S. senators. Now they being, of course, McCormick and Fetterman. And then the congressional delegation of Reschenthaler and Kelly and Lee and DeLuzio and Thompson. They represent parts of the 10-county region that kind of takes in both the SBC and the Allegheny Conference and the Pittsburgh Chamber. So, and the visits aren't much different than they were years ago. You're going down to talk about what the federal government can do to help this region. And right now we're obviously experiencing some opportunities when it comes to AI, artificial intelligence, and data centers, and some of the investments that are happening here. And many of our counties, as they presented to the congressional folks, a lot of it was there was a lot of commonality. Infrastructure, for example, water lines, sewer lines, improved roads, improved bridges, reauthorization of the transportation, surface transportation bill. So these things probably aren't much different than they were years ago, but they are still needs that we have. Workforce development training to provide all these jobs that are starting to come about. So those are the discussions that happened. We had about 15 county commissioners from all 10 counties, including the Allegheny, and the county executive Inverrada was there presenting. And it was a real great collaboration. And then, of course, you've got the private sector from the financial sector, the energy sector, the manufacturing sector, folks from the pond, the new owners of U.S. Steel were there. So there was a lot of collaboration and, talking about economic development and the needs of this region.
Fayette County Commissioner Scott Dunn was there. In fact, he's going to join us in the next hour to talk about that. And of course, Vince Vacides, Commissioner for Life, has been down there over the years. I think he said his first meeting may have been with John Hines, to give you some idea that how long he's been doing it, whether on his own or part of the chamber. I was the lobbyist for the Pittsburgh Chamber of Commerce years ago. We didn't do these group meetings, but I was always available for people who wanted to go. And I said, okay, I'll make the connections for you. Let's head to Harrisburg. Let's head to Washington, etc. And it's so important. And over the years, I've spoken at a lot of seminars and given presentations. I said, the last thing you want to do when you meet with your congressional delegation or the legislative delegation is have to introduce yourself when you're asking for something. They should know you ahead of time. And I think that's another purpose of these meetings, correct?
That's absolutely the case. In many cases, and you've been there, so you know what we're talking about. You often happen to go and ask again and again and again. It sometimes takes many rounds. And I know when I was executive, there were sometimes it took me 5 or 6 years to get things like the BRT or things for the airport or whatever it might be. the cap over 579 over Bigelow Boulevard in downtown Pittsburgh, just to name a few. So yes, when people like Commissioner Dunn and his team go in, they talk about some of the opportunities that are happening in and around not just Uniontown but all throughout Fayette County. And one of the needs in Fayette, for example, is infrastructure connecting to get housing. There's a housing shortage in Fayette County, almost 99% occupancy rates in rental and in ownership. Very few homes are on the market because there's just a shortage. So they tell the facts. They've done some studies that 15,000 people a day come into Fayette County to work, and then they drive out of Fayette County to go back home. Well, if there was enough housing here, many of those people would reside, and you'd help grow the population in Fayette County. So that's just one area where talking about what kind of infrastructure to get water lines, sewer lines, utility lines to allow the private sector to be able to be profitable when they do make investments and build workforce housing, affordable housing, market rate housing across the board, the housing that is needed here in Fayette County.
It's interesting, the topic you brought up there a moment ago about how sometimes it takes years, 4, 5, 6 years to get a project funded properly, and sometimes the opinions change on those projects over that amount of time. I think back when the first push was on to get the subway in downtown Pittsburgh over to the North Shore. Everybody wanted it. It took a long time to get it. At one point, there was protests against it. And I remember Spector, my boss at the time, saying, I thought everybody wanted this thing. And I said, well, there's still a sizable group that do. Once it gets in, people are going to love it. And of course they do. I don't go to a Pirate or Steeler game without taking the subway from the South Hills. I can tell you that. But there's an example. It changes over time, the opinion. Of course, go ahead, jump in.
It is interesting that you say that, because I was just telling the story while we were down there that you're 100% right. When this thing was proposed, and it turned out to be about a $500 million project, again, take the subway under the river over to the North Shore. And the idea was we were going to get development on the North Shore, because when Three River Stadium was built, they thought there'd be development, but 20 years later, it was still just a sea of asphalt and one stadium in the middle of it.
And a golf gas station, I think, was the entire development.
That was about it. So I happened to be the county executive when the first ride was going to occur. I mean, it had really been done before me, Mayor Murphy, Dan Honorado, Jim Roddy. Those folks were the ones that really did it. But I just happened to be in the seat when it finally was finished, and we're going to take the first ride. So I invited everybody. I invited Governor Corbett. I invited former Governor Rendell. I invited former county executives Roddy and Honorado, and every state senator, every state representative, every congressman, Senator Santorum. I mean, on and on. You can go on, all the people that we had invited. One elected official showed up, a guy by the name of Mike Doyle. And I remember Mike saying, I worked so hard to get this money and this appropriation. I'm going to be here. But you're 100% right. The controversy over it actually became part of a gubernatorial ad in a negative way, and so people were afraid of it. And you're right. Now there's been so much development there. Now everyone loves it. It's up and running. Fast forward 15 years, 12, 13 years later, we're going to be opening a new airport in a few weeks. And I can tell you that every elected official wants to be there for that. The senators, of course, the congressmen, the state representatives, on and on and on. So this one has really become very popular because people can't wait to see the improved customer experience for Pittsburgh International Airport. So, but you are right. Sometimes people want something, and then all of a sudden the protests come out, and then when it's done, hopefully if it's done right, people are happy with it.
Yeah, we could tell stories forever, you and I suppose. I remember years ago.
Yeah, I think we could. Yeah.
I thought I was going to have to break up a fight between two state reps, one of which was opposed to the Montfayette Expressway down in the large area of Allegheny County, Jefferson Hills. And the other one was for it, and the one who was against it showed up for the ribbon cutting. And the screaming matches started. I'm like, if I have to break these two guys up on a fight, for crying out loud, I'm going to be on the news. And somebody else came over and said, you guys better quiet down. But these happen. These things happen. But you're right, that the airport, everyone's going to want to show up for the airport. But yeah, when you think of the development here adjacent to the Montfayette Expressway, where it comes into Fayette County, there is development there that was not there before that highway came past. And
it's starting to happen. And there's also, some, from what I'm hearing, some major developments along this data center AI, economy that also may be part of that as well.
Yeah. That might be surprising a lot of people. I know it surprised me. When you think about the need for electricity and power, you think of an electric arc furnace. You think of the massive plants that were along the Mon Valley back in the day. You don't think of computers needing that much power, but there's an example of how little I know. The power need is well beyond our current capacity, isn't it?
Well beyond. And because it's cumulative. We all have these phones and these smartphones that do all kind of things for us. They, we get lost and we put in the directions and it Google Maps us to where we need to go. We want to look up something that's happened on Wikipedia. It is, but so everybody has one of these. So you've got millions of these little computers that each generate a lot of energy, and when you cumulatively put it together, they generate an unbelievable amount of the need for energy. So there's two things that people I don't think are going to give up anytime soon. One is the smartphone that we all use, and the other one is our car. And both of those use an awful lot of energy, not individually, but when you multiply that by millions of people using them, that electrical energy is just it's just immense.
Yeah, I don't know what made me think of this. I saw a comedian once at some club in Pittsburgh, and he said he goes into a coffee shop, and the place is packed. He said all the college kids are dressed like, he said, 19th century chimney sweeps. That's how they're dressed. But they've got about 7 things plugged in, and they're using more electricity than PNC Park. And I don't think people realize that when you got your laptop going, you got your tablet going, you got your laptop going. This is drawing power. And years ago, the newspaper you were reading in a coffee shop wasn't drawing power. It may have taken some to print it, but certainly not the way you have it now. And I know I was just shocked when you hear about this need for power in this region. And I think it certainly helps too when you go down to Washington, D.C., and you have 2 U.S. senators who are, may at times be diametrically opposed on certain issues, but man, McCormick and Fetterman seem to be working together. They seem like partners. It really, I think it's impressive.
Well, on this issue, you're 100% right. They are in agreement, and we've had a couple of major symposiums over the last couple of months. Senator McCormick had one at Carnegie Mellon University. You and I talked about this when it happened back in July. And then just last week, Joanna Dovin and her AI strike team had one at Bakery Square. And who did you see at the symposium? The highest elected official in the Democratic Party, Josh Shapiro, and the highest elected official in the Republican Party, Senator McCormick.
Right, exactly. And both of those events, they were both at. So, yeah.
Yes, they were.
That's so important. And to have this opportunity over the years. Back in my day, Arlen Specter worked very well with his fellow Republican, John Hines, but a lot of people forgot they ran against each other at one time in a very, very bitter primary for U.S. Senate. But they came together and worked well together. Tragically, we lost John Hines way too early in 1991. We've been talking with, of course, our good friend, and he's been a guest regularly, and we do appreciate your coming on so often, Rich Fitzgerald, who is Executive Director of the Southwestern Pennsylvania Commission. We didn't talk about the commission today, but we certainly have in the past, and our own Fayette County Commissioner down here, Vince Vasidis, will be your chairman next year, correct?
That's exactly right. Vince Vasidis, Commissioner Vasidis is the vice chair right now, and the chairman is Pat Fabian, and Pat's term will be ending at the end of this year, and beginning next year, for the following 2 years, Commissioner Vasidis will be the chair of the SPC. And I believe, and I'm not sure, but this might be the first time that a Fayette County Commissioner has been the chair of the 10-county Southwestern Pennsylvania Commission.
I'm a political geek, but I don't know the answer to that one. I think that might put me over the top if I happen to know that question from way back.
Some old-timer might know that, but going back 25 years as I go back, I know that's the case for the last 25 years. But beyond that, there may have been. But in any event, it hasn't happened in a long time, and it'll be a big opportunity for Fayette County to have Commissioner Vacides in the leadership position.
Yeah, and he'll make a good chair and a good spokesperson as well, because I know they tend to get more attention when you become chair of that group, and he'll do a nice job for you. That's for sure. I've known Vince since many. I think I met him. We were trying to figure out 1987 or something when I first met him. I forget when it was. Rich Fitzgerald, thanks so much for joining us. We really do appreciate it.
Good to be with you, Doug. All right. Stay tuned. We'll keep at it.
Absolutely.
I'll talk to you.
Thank you.
Take care now. Bye.
We're going to take a break, come back. We're going to wrap up hour 2. It's been going quick tonight. The CBS News World News Roundup. Late edition is coming up, followed by a weather update from Nick. We're with you till 8 o'clock tonight. Stick around.
Ready to indulge in the essence of Parisian luxury? Then visit Live Casino in Greensburg for our Pure Couture drawing. Earn entries daily starting September 1st. Then on September 27th, we'll draw 25 winners to take home exclusive Yves Saint Laurent gifts, including designer bags, iconic accessories, and more. Experience the best of elegance and excitement. Only at Live Casino, Route 30 at Westmoreland Mall. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Chris Parker Jr., what's happening at Autoland for September?
September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, and Autoland wants to focus on the Hyundai Hope on Wheels program, which has donated over $275 million to pediatric cancer research with every new Hyundai purchase since 1998. Hyundai is committed to pediatric cancer research, not just in September, but every day, all year long.
September is also the beginning of fall.
It's the beginning of the 2026 Model Year 2, with falling prices, great deals, and a super selection of 2025 Hyundai. Interest rates remain high at other banks, but you can take advantage of 0% interest for 48 months on the 25 Santa Fe, or 1.99% financing for 60 months on 25 Tucsons and Sonatas, or lease a 25 Hyundai Elantra SE for only $229 per month.
And every new Hyundai comes with 3-year free complimentary maintenance and Hyundai Owner Assurance, America's best warranty, 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Autoland Hyundai, 25 East Fayette Street, Uniontown, or visit their website, AutolandHyundai.com.
And remember, you always pay less to drive the best at Autoland Hyundai.
439-2323. For 24-hour emergency service, call us when you need. We're Fayette's Heating and Air Conditioning, your service company.
When it's sweltering outside, you'll be cool inside with central air conditioning from Bryant, the people that know cool. And it's easy to have a central air conditioning system installed in your home. Simply call on your Bryant dealer, Fayette Heating and Air Conditioning, located near the Laurel Mall on Route 119, north of Uniontown. The phone number is 439-2323. Let Fayette Heating and Air Conditioning rescue you from the sticky, humid summer weather. Remember that number for Fayette Heating and Air Conditioning, your Bryant dealer, 439-2323.
Call Fayette Heating and Air Conditioning, 439-2323, 439-2323, 439-2323.
CareerLink is your one-stop resource for employment and training-related services. Visit CareerLink and you'll have access to many programs and agencies for assistance with economic, educational, and job-related needs. For more information on all the programs available to you, contact CareerLink at 724-434-JOBS. That's 724-434-JOBS.
Mountaintop Title and Notary can handle all of your motor vehicle and PennDOT needs, such as titles, plates, renewal, registrations, and all notary needs. Tina Nicholson of Mountaintop Title and Notary can also handle ATV and boat titles, and also does income taxes. Hours are Monday through Friday, 9:30 to 4:30, and appointments can be made for after hours and Saturdays. Mountaintop Title and Notary with a new location at 655 Nelson Road in Farmington, the only place you need to go for all title, notary, and tax work. Call Tina at 724-984-1514 for the most professional services around.
The Hawleys? Do I have that right? I think it's the Hawleys. If I'm incorrect on saying who that is, Bill Madden will call in immediately and let me know. Before we came out of that break, Nick says, Doug, you'll have a minute and a half. I've got 20 seconds, Nick.
Well,
you lied to me
I did.
Again.
I can't tell time or count.
7 o'clock hours coming up. We're going to check in with Commissioner Scott Dunn, who was at those meetings in Washington, D.C. Then we're going to talk about a survey on sports. You'll like that. With Marge Conley, from the AP Nork Center. But first, CBS News on your local station, WMBS, Uniontown.
Multiple police officers killed in Pennsylvania.
This is an absolutely tragic and devastating day.
The Fed cuts its key rate.
Job gains have slowed and downside risks to employment have risen.
Warning from the former CDC director.
I believe preventable diseases will return.
This is the CBS World News Roundup Late Edition. I'm Jennifer Kuiper. 3 police officers have been killed and 2 critically injured in a shooting in York County, Pennsylvania.
The shooting happened as officers were serving a warrant in North Codorus Township near the Pennsylvania-Maryland line.
There were 5 law enforcement officers who were shot today. 3 fatally, 2 that were transported here in critical but stable condition.
Pennsylvania State Police Colonel Christopher Paris says the shooter is dead.
There is no current active threat.
Governor Josh Shapiro.
This kind of violence isn't okay. We need to do better as a society. We need to help the people who think that picking up a gun, picking up a weapon is the answer.
Matt Piper, CBS News.
The Utah man charged with shooting to death conservative activist Charlie Kirk 1 week ago today did not want to be shot by police. Washington County Sheriff Nate Brooksby says Robinson agreed to surrender with his parents by his side as long as it was done peacefully.
He knew he was going to get caught. He didn't want a big SWAT team hitting his parents' house or his apartment. He was truly fearful of being shot by law enforcement. So that the conditions were as relaxed and comfortable and almost to the point of, inviting.
Students at Utah Valley University, where Kirk was fatally shot, returned to classes today. And Disney's ABC says it's pulling Jimmy Kimmel's late night show indefinitely after comments about Charlie Kirk. For the first time this year, the Federal Reserve cuts its key rate by 0.25 percentage point and signals more possible cuts. President Trump has been pushing Fed Chair Jerome Powell to do this sooner. Powell saying,
I think we were right to wait and see how tariffs and inflation and the labor market evolved.
CBS business analyst Jill Schlesinger.
The data recently have shown that the labor market is slowing down. That appears to be a bigger risk in the eyes of the Federal Reserve than the tariff-induced rise in the inflation rate.
Ousted CDC Director Susan Menares testifies on Capitol Hill that she was fired over a vaccine-related dispute with Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. And
I was directed to only work with the political appointees that he had put in place at CDC and not to speak or work with career scientists.
On September 4th, HHS Secretary RFK Jr. told Capitol Hill lawmakers that he told Menares she had to resign because, in his words, he asked her, "Are you a trustworthy person?" And she said no. Stocks closed mixed on Wall Street. Now this.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
So my mother is thinking of switching from Verizon to Pure Talk, but she's worried the deal sounds too good to be true. Michael, she said, how can those Pure Talk people offer me the same basic service as Verizon for so much less money? I said, Mom, go ask Google how much Verizon spends on advertising and promotion. A few seconds later, my mother said, oh my goodness, $12 billion a year? That must be a typo. I'll tell you what I told my mom. It's not a typo. Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotion, and their customers are paying for it. Well, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. Trust me, I would know. Consequently, they can offer you and my mother unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a blazing fast 5G network for just $25 a month. Dial pound 250 and say the words Mike Rowe, and you'll get an additional 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 Mike Rowe. Pure Talk. Everything you need and nothing you don't.
A royal reception for President Trump during his unprecedented second state visit to the UK.
The bond of kinship and identity between America and the United Kingdom is priceless and eternal.
Britain's King Charles.
The United Kingdom was your partner in the first trade deal of your administration, Mr. President, bringing jobs and growth to both our countries.
President Trump meets tomorrow with Prime Minister Keir Starmer. FBI Director Kash Patel faces a second day of questions, this time from the House Judiciary Committee. Patel got into a heated exchange with Maryland Democrat Congressman Jamie Raskin over the release of Jeffrey Epstein information.
Much more has come out in the days since the American people in Congress have been demanding it, but it's coming out in dribs and drabs. Why don't you just release the entire file as you promised to do?
I literally just told you there are multiple federal court orders. I'm not going to break the law to satisfy your curiosity.
You're listening to the CBS World News Roundup.
This Entertainment Insider is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. The movie Superman, released earlier this year, was a box office success. Director James Gunn said this film had to be different.
You don't want him to be able to punch a planet in half, or for that matter, go around a planet a billion times and make time go backwards. You know, I wanted a Superman who was a little bit more down to earth.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Get renter's insurance to protect the things that make your place a home, including coverage for theft or damage. Visit Progressive.com.
This is not a drill. Ulta's 21 Days of Beauty event is on, now through September 18th. That means 50% off daily beauty steals from brands like MAC and Yves Saint Laurent. And score weekly beauty steals on faves like Kapari Beauty and Peach & Lily. Plus, say hello to Just Drop products from Charlotte Tilbury and Live Tinted. Don't wait. Over 250 beauty steals at 50% off is on everyone's to-do list. Shop in-store, online, or try pickup today. While supplies last, conditions apply. Ulta Beauty. The possibilities are beautiful.
The test to become an American citizen could be more difficult.
The new civics test will require applicants to study 128 questions about U.S. history and politics. They'll be presented with 20 of those questions when they take the test, and they must answer 12 of them correctly. Previously, applicants had to study 100 questions and answer 6 out of 10 correctly. The test is done orally. The answers are not multiple choice. New applicants must also show they have lived in the U.S. as lawful permanent residents for at least 3 to 5 years, and that they can read, write, and speak English. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, Washington.
A Southern California judge is sentenced to 35 years in prison for fatally shooting his wife. Prosecutors said Orange County Superior Court Judge Jeffrey Ferguson shot his wife in their home in August 2023 after he had been drinking and the couple had an argument. Ferguson admitted to shooting his wife but said it was an accident. Time on the roundup, 7 minutes past the hour.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Here's the tale of the daily Medfield, same old pharmacies, same old bill, but those prices kept rising higher still.
Till the savings wrangler rode in, cool as can be. Tap GoodRx, saving massively.
No plan? Don't matter none. Up to 80% off. The deals are done.
Discounts hitting harder than Ma's chili. Dang. That one little app does all the rest.
Save time and money on prescriptions.
Check GoodRx. GoodRx is not insurance.
Citing changes at the CDC, the governors of Oregon, Washington, California, and Hawaii recently formed the Western States Health Alliance, which today has issued its own immunization recommendations. A corporate rift widens.
You have the tools for doing good in the world. And the greatest tool is your own unique flavor. Ben & Jerry's.
In a social media post, Ben & Jerry's co-founder Ben Cohen revealed that Jerry Greenfield has announced he's leaving the company after 47 years. Greenfield says the independence Ben & Jerry's had to speak up on social issues has been stifled by parent company Unilever. Back in March, Ben & Jerry's said that its CEO was unlawfully removed by Unilever in retaliation for the ice cream maker's social and political activism. Jim Crisula, CBS News.
That's the World News Roundup Late Edition for Wednesday, September 17th, 2025. I'm Jennifer Kuiper, CBS News.
Pizza Kings in Connellsville is your go-to lunch and dinner spot with a full menu of mouth-watering pizzas and so much more. Using a deck oven helps our pizzas stay extra crisp, so if you haven't tried a slice lately, what are you waiting for? From our 50-slice King Carnivore to veggie pizzas and even pickle pizzas, Pizza King has the pie to match your taste. Pizza Kings, 1046 Morrell Avenue in Connellsville. Call 724-626-8343 or visit pizzakingswithaz.com.
And now the weather with Doug Saltzman. Ready, Doug?
I don't often get to do the weather here, so I appreciate the opportunity to do this. But let me tell you, this is a simple forecast. If you're looking at the temperatures from now through Sunday, starting tomorrow, we'll go with that one, 81, 81, 82, 81. Sun every day. Now that's a pretty simple forecast.
Is that what it says? Sun every day?
Sun every day. That's what it says there. 73 degrees right now outside our Davis & Davis Attorneys at Law studios, helping those who are injured for over 40 years. As I mentioned right now, 73 degrees, feels like about 75 degrees out there. But the nights are cool, which is nice.
Yeah.
But, man, I tell you, we
set the night to music.
We're not looking at a possibility of rain until next Tuesday.
Oh, you love it, unless you're a farmer, and hopefully it rains a little bit.
This summer, we either had the rainforest or the desert, for heaven's sakes. But there's the forecast. Nice, high 70s, low 80s through Sunday. Great weekend. Get out and do something.
Get out and do something, yes. I'll be out doing something Saturday, so I won't feel guilty about watching football Sunday.
Doug and Nick's advice. Get out and do something.
Yes, run, walk, talk to an elderly neighbor.
Have a picnic.
Have a picnic. Oh, do you take a basket and a blanket?
Go for a walk, for crying out loud.
Doesn't anyone just take a walk anymore? Only thing these people are missing is a lunar excursion module. They have 3 vehicles, an RV, a
3
tank,
boats.
boats, a kayak. Doesn't anyone just take a bleeping walk anymore?
That, of course, is George Carlin.
And don't count your steps. Just walk. Who cares how many steps you took? Walk for an hour.
That's right.
Who cares?
If I hear one more person tell me how proud they are of how many steps they've taken today.
Oh, and someone asked me, what's your personal best running time since I run now? I don't know. Who cares? I'm running to just do it.
Who gives a rat's patootie?
Exactly. I think we're late for our next 2 guests. We've been talking
so long.
Oh, my God, it's 8 o'clock.
We have a commercial break coming up. When we come back, we're going to check in with Commissioner Scott Dunn. And after that, Marjorie Conley from AP North talking about a survey on sports fans.
Oh.
Not every poll, not every survey is about politics.
That's right. We're both sports fans.
Exactly. So we'll be chatting with her coming up. Stick around.
Have you been told there is nothing that can be done for your neuropathy? Tri-State Neuropathy Centers is pleased to tell you that's not true. As one of the largest and most successful neuropathy treatment practices in the country, Tri-State Neuropathy Centers has grown to 9 regional centers and helped over 14,000 patients, like John from Morgantown. John had such extreme numbness and pain that he was having difficulty feeling his car pedals. Then John discovered Tri-State Neuropathy Centers and their effective FDA-approved treatment program that has no drugs, is non-invasive and painless. John's great results have given his freedom back, and he's doing the things he wants, like simply driving or cutting the grass. Tri-State Neuropathy Centers help John, along with thousands of others. Let them help you next. Call 304-777-2068. That's 304-777-2068. Tri-State Neuropathy Centers, the leader in treating peripheral neuropathy.
Tune in to WMBS Saturday mornings at 8:20 for Your Financial Future with Gary Boatman, certified financial planner, investment advisory representative, syndicated columnist, and author, as he addresses such income issues as planning for retirement, future healthcare expenses, avoiding financial pitfalls, and much more. That's Your Financial Future with Gary Boatman, Saturday mornings at 8:20 right here on WMBS, where Gary Boatman welcomes your calls at 724-243-3075. That's 724-243-3075.
John Clinton with Dominic Carbone from your 7-time President's Award-winning Ford of Uniontown. Dom, let's get down to business. I hear we're having a big sale on F-150s.
Now that, JC, is an understatement. Check this out. We are taking up to $7,000 off MSRP on 2025 F-150 XL and XLT models, and you get these low interest rates, 3.9 for 60 months, 4.9 for 72, and 5.9 for 84. And yes, guys, you get both savings and the low interest rate. That's not a steal, that's a deal. John, we are making aggressive offers on all new inventory, so don't miss out. Stop, click, or call and get all the details.
Dom, along with Ford Motor Company, we are taking part in the largest dealer food drive in the world. So check this out. We're going to have a brand new F-150 in the showroom, and we're asking our customers and friends of the store to drop off all non-perishable food items to help us take part in the global month of caring. The food drive runs from the 15th to the 25th of September. Thank you in advance for your generosity. That's 40 Uniontown, on the hill across from Applebee's, or 40uniontown.com. Offer includes all applicable incentives, must finance a Ford Motor credit, and not all buyers will qualify.
Join us for another PA CareerLink Awareness Day event, the Fayette Proud Job Fair. Come out to the PA CareerLink Fayette County office on Thursday, September 18th from 2 to 5 p.m. to explore the unique opportunities that our county has to offer. Connect with community service representatives from PA CareerLink partners or network with local employers. The choice is yours. And also, Josh Krysak and myself, Matt Sapienza, will be broadcasting live from 2 to 4 p.m. and, of course, spinning our fabulous WMBS prize wheel. skill. So, drop by the PA CareerLink Fayette County office, 112 Commonwealth Drive in Lamont Furnace on Thursday, September 18th from 2 to 5 p.m. For more information, call 724-434-5627. Fayette County has a lot to offer. Let's make the most of it and stay Fayette proud.
Welcome back to the late edition of the Afternoon Drive Show. With you till 8 o'clock tonight. Of course, the Pirate game played this afternoon. They lost their 11 of 12 after sweeping the world champion, the Dodgers.
Yeah, it seems like a long time ago.
This just hit the newswire here within the last half hour. ABC, the network, said it is pulling the Jimmy Kimmel Live show off the air indefinitely after comments made by its host, of course, Jimmy Kimmel. He suggested during his opening monologue Monday night that Tyler Robinson, of course, the man accused of killing Charlie Kirk, was aligned with President Trump's MAGA movement. It doesn't even make any sense to say it. And so they're not just taking him off or showing repeats. They're taking the show off the air. That's quite a step for ABC to do something like that. But what an absurd comment. It's just dumb. I don't understand quite comments being made following this assassination. Joining us right now on the WVU Medicine Uniontown Hospital talk line, Fayette County Commissioner Scott Dunn. Commissioner, thank you very much for joining us today. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing tonight?
Good. I know that you were, maybe still are, in Washington, D.C. The Allegheny Conference on Community Development puts together these meetings in D.C. with a congressional delegation. Just earlier in the show, we spoke with Rich Fitzgerald, who, of course, is director of Southwestern Pennsylvania Commission. Had very nice things to say about you, and then passed along his hello, by the way. And, of course, he was there for those meetings as well. And we talked to him about those meetings, but going to D.C. and talking to the congressional delegation is nothing new to you, is it?
It isn't. As a matter of fact, one of my fondest pictures that I have is of me being a commissioner for literally 3 months, and I am in the office of Senator Bob Casey, pitching something for Fayette County.
3 months in.
And that was, and I thought the picture is horrible. My eyes are closed. But that picture reminds me that I can do this.
Well, you can always get the picture fixed. Give it to somebody. They'll open your eyes and they'll make you.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
A movie star. That's right. They'll make you look like anything.
But it's so since the beginning we've been we go down there yearly. The last 2 years, this year and last year, we went down a second time for this Allegheny Conference, what they call a fly-in, which nobody flies in there but drives. I don't know why it's called a fly-in. But we fly in, and we this year we got to present our Fayette County, every county got to present their priorities from a federal standpoint. So it was a good thing, and what was neat was there's a saying at our state county organization that if you've seen one county, you've seen one county. And so it was neat to hear that everybody had something that was completely different than every other county, but then we also had things that were that we had in common. So it was good. And Rich Fitzgerald at SBC has, I'll be quite honest, wasn't sure about him as a executive director there, but he has lit it up. He's been great. He's been to Fayette County so many times I can't even count at this point, and he has really become a champion for the southwestern Pennsylvania region. So he knows everybody. So he's a great guy to have on your side.
Yeah, and he has. And I think you're right. Some people thought because of his political background that he might lean one way or the other. But from what I can tell, he was so complimentary when they had the AI Summit, Energy Summit at Carnegie Mellon University. Of course, that was put together by, U.S. Senator Dave McCormick. The president was there, but also John Fetterman was there, and of course the Democratic governor of the state, Josh Shapiro, was there, and I remember Rich Fitzgerald saying he never saw any event like that in his life. So many people. First, the joke was there were never so many billionaires in one place at a time. The private tarmac out at Pittsburgh International Airport was bringing in more private jets than they ever saw in one day ever, I think, for that event. But
billionaires and brainiacs.
That's right. That's right.
These guys are like so. Last week there was a AI Horizons summit at Bakery Square in Pittsburgh, and we went down. It was free. We went down to that. The governor was there. Dave McCormick was there. I saw Dave McCormick today in Washington. And it's a good. We have to make sure that our face is out there, and they need to know that we're hungry in Fayette County.
Right. And it's worked for many, many years. We were talking about. Think of the development that's come along near the Mont-Fayette Expressway over there. And, of course, Allegheny County didn't want the Mont-Fayette Expressway, and they're finally getting into it now decades later, whereas Fayette County welcomed it with open arms years ago to make that connection from Route 51 in southern Allegheny County and all the way down to Route 68. Although West Virginia didn't want it for a while. That drove everybody nuts. A mile and a half sat vacant for many years. But it's an example of coming together and being able to work on both sides of the aisle. And now you have two U.S. senators who I don't think I'd say they're joined at the hip, McCormick and Fetterman. They have disagreements naturally, but they're partners. I think they're willing to work together on things they can work together on, and that can only be good for the state, I would think.
That literally, Dave McCormick literally said that this morning. He said, we don't agree on everything. We don't actually. He said we probably disagree on most things, but where we agree, we've decided that we're going to work together, and that's. That's the way it has to be. And if you want good things for your area, for your county, there's only 3 people in Washington D.C. that we can ask for money or for and that's Fetterman, McCormick, and Guy Reschenthaler. And when I take a picture with John Fetterman and I get blown up by the locals because they can't believe that I would have taken a picture with John Fetterman, you're going to tie our hands behind our back if you start saying I can't even go down there and talk to the guy. So that's our job. Our job, I put our job as commissioners into 3 things. We're the administrator of the Fayette County government. We're doing economic development. And then the third thing is we represent Fayette County. I don't represent Fayette County just for Republicans or just for Democrats or just for everybody. And, as I look up into the state and federal governments, we have to work with whoever's willing to work with us.
Yeah, I remember.
It's just a fact.
Right. I mean, years ago, during my lobbying days, I remember speaking, and you mentioned earlier the County Commissioners Association of Pennsylvania, and I was speaking on a panel about lobbying, and I said the last thing you ever want to do, and this was usually to smaller counties around the state, and I said the last thing you want to do when you go to D.C. to ask for something is to have to introduce yourself. And you want them to know who you are before that. Right. So make those, invite them to your counties, make sure they know who you are. And I said, for heaven's sakes, don't play politics. And at the time, it was Rick Santorum and Arlen Specter were the U.S. senators. And I said, I don't care if you're a Democrat. These guys can help. Arlen Specter was on the Appropriations Committee. I said, don't shy away because that person might be from a different party. They're willing to help your county. I don't know how well that went over, but it was the truth. You want them to know you before you have an ask. And that's why meetings like you had the other day are so important. And it's R&D and business. You name it, we're going down there to meet with those folks. And they meet with a lot of people. And that's why it's important to keep those things going.
And it's almost as important to know the staffers as well.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's, I was in D.C. When I was in D.C. in March, I'm walking through the Capitol, and I see a Reschenthaler staffer, and I'm like, "Hey, Mike, how you doing?" And he's like, "Hey, Commissioner, how you like? We're just walking. We're meeting on the steps, just purely out of coincidence." And then the next thing you know, he's on my phone. Hey, I need help with something. You need help with something. Yeah. I mean, it's relationship building, and it's networking.
Yeah, you see a lot of stuff on C-SPAN. You see the stuff that's on the news. Most deals happened in the Senate gym or in a hallway or in an elevator. When I worked for Arlen Specter, we were in an elevator one time, and Ted Kennedy was in there. How long does an elevator ride take? 40 seconds? They worked out a deal literally on that elevator ride for a $100 million appropriation for Pennsylvania. $100 million appropriation in an elevator ride. That's they say you don't want to see how the sausage is made, but you have to know how it's made to make it work. And it's as crazy as it is. Winston Churchill said, "Democracy is the worst form of government, except when you compare it to all the others." And you work with what you got. And but that's just how the system works. As we talked with Fayette County Commissioner Scott Dunn on his trip to Washington, D.C., the Allegheny Conference on Community Development, of course, represents the 10-county region here in southwestern Pennsylvania. And I'm guessing there was at least one commissioner from each of those counties there, plus other representatives as well from business.
Yeah, and this came up. It is so yesterday was our agenda meeting, and we had to figure out how we were going to get there because we needed two commissioners back here, and Vincent Harry said that they would stay and run that meeting. Which put me in D.C. So, every county, there's 10 counties in the SBC that surround Pittsburgh, and they were all there. Most had just one commissioner there. A couple of them had two. One of them had sent all three, but and then I had to give a 7-minute presentation. Which takes about 3 or 4 hours to actually
prepare.
Because you when you only have 7 minutes, it's very difficult to figure out what is really important to say, what has to be said, and you make sure that you say those things.
And you better stick to that 7 minutes. That's right. I remember years ago, a group came in to meet with us when I worked in the U.S. Senate, and they had 3-inch binders of information they wanted to share with us. And I'm thinking, oh, good grief. Do they think they're the only group coming in? I won't say what group it was. And I said, I'm thinking to myself, we don't need this much information. And it was funny. A couple years later, they hired a lobbyist, and they came in with 2 pages. Okay. I said, all right, now the lobbyist knows what's going on. We don't need binders and binders of information.
We had to break our stuff down to 1 page.
Yeah, and that's what staffers want. Imagine what comes across a staffer's desk. Imagine what comes across a U.S. senator. We used to kid. I was director of the Pittsburgh Regional Office for Specter, and there were other directors around the state. And we used to the senator used to call us lobbyists because we'd get the projects we were pushing for our region. And I was there for 12 years, and I became a member of what we call the $1 billion Club. We got $1 billion worth of funding for this corner of the state to do stuff that we were pushing. So it used to be a sort of a unofficial game we would play among our directors back in those days. The projects, of course, in this region and the success you have had, when you think about the development, you go out Main Street at 40 and you see all that development. That frankly, literally wasn't there, 20 years ago. And that doesn't happen just by fluke, does it?
No, it doesn't. And I would say I have a saying that this wasn't made with pixie dust. It's hard work, and you have to figure out, and you have to figure out the funding for it. You have to have a plan for it, but then you have to figure out the funding for that plan. And we can't fund a lot of these things internally. Like I keep telling people that 0% of our budget goes to the sheepskin trail. And no matter how much I say that, everybody thinks that, our budget is bloated because of the sheepskin trail. 0%, $0 of the Fayette County budget goes to the sheepskin trail. And so you have to find these partners to be able to do these things. Thompson's Crossing, the proposed development out in North Union, that's another one where we need to figure out where this funding is coming from. And that was one of the asks that we had of our federal delegation. Some of the places that we get this funding. The ARC, Appalachian Regional Commission, is one. Economic Development, whatever A stands for. It's everything's alphabets.
Exactly.
EDA,
It's hard to keep track of them without a program. I don't blame you.
Yeah, I don't even know their real names. But so there's talk of reduction in funding for those organizations. Those are two of the organizations that we get a lot of money for, or money from. And then the third part of that is, we're in a rural county, and it's difficult for a small county or a small municipality or authority to write a competitive grant when you're competing against Philadelphia. So a lot of these grants, they have what's called a rural offset. And what that means is a certain amount of the grant funds have to be given to a rural area. And that's how we compete with Philadelphia. And so they're talking about doing away with stuff like that. So that was one of the things that we made sure that we brought up in Fayette County is, hey, it's important for us to be able to compete for this grant money.
Yeah, the city of Philadelphia probably has 3 floors of City Hall dedicated to people doing nothing but filling out grant applications. Yeah, exactly.
Right, and we have one.
Yeah, you have no way to compete with that. That was
not one floor. We have one person.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And that's at times is a head scratcher when you think about the amount of money it's spent by certain cities just to get more money. And the success you've had here is obviously very different from a different standpoint. And you've had success doing it despite that. And it's something you share with all small counties, is the size of your staffs and that sort of thing to keep things going along. Well, Commissioner, go right ahead.
And we get a lot of compliments from. We get that grant money because we're organized, and we get that grant money because we have a plan, and it's a solid plan, and we have everything laid out, and so. We get a lot of compliments on how organized our county is, and that's probably the reason that we are successful in the grant realm.
Yeah, and working together across the aisle. That's how these things, of course, have to be done. Commissioner, we appreciate your taking time to talk to us. We've talked to you many times over the years, of course, including your colleagues. We have not yet had on the Afternoon Drive show Commissioner Kaufman, so I'm going to have to get in touch with him. Be happy to have him on the show as well.
Okay.
To talk about the latest.
Be careful. He'll talk your ear off. So.
Well, we'll make sure we have a lot of time in. And
okay, there you go.
But thanks for the warning, though. We'll make sure Dutch.
All right, no problem. I'm kidding, of course.
I know you are. All
right.
So, all right, Commissioner.
All right,
thanks so much. You have a good night.
See you guys.
Thank you. Commissioner Scott Dunn joining us on the WVU Medicine Uniontown Hospital Talk Line. I'm Doug Saltzman. That's Nick Barczyk. Coming up on a break, then we talked with Marjorie Conley, Senior Fellow with AP NORC, about their latest survey on sports. So we'll finish up the show on a lighter topic. But first, this is the Afternoon Drive Show on WMBS.
Zen's Antiques and Home Decor, part of the Cinder Shack family of vendors, where you can find both antique and new furniture, collectibles, housewares, gift items, including jewelry and candles, and so much more. Follow Zen's Antiques and Home Decor on Facebook for new items and information on upcoming events. Zen's Antiques and Home Decor in Building 2 at 3391 National Pike in Farmington. Zen's Antiques and Home Decor.
Say hello to fall. Your flair, your way. Strap, 34 South Street in downtown Uniontown, located in the State Farm Building rear. We're known for our distinguished Western, Southwest, and boho accessories, including custom and concealed carry handbags, but we offer a large variety of fashionable styles. And just refreshed for fall, we have an amazing selection of spiny oyster, turquoise, nickel silver, copper, and gemstone fun fashion jewelry. And we're so excited to bring you affordable indulgence. 24% lead crystals wrapped in tarnish-free silver and gold wire for enhanced clarity, brilliance, and sparkle. These bracelets, pendants, earrings, and bands are stunning and show-stopping, to say the least. Strap, 34 South Street in downtown Uniontown, 724-557-6184. Open Tuesday through Friday, 11 to 5. Not high-end, just nice-end. Strap, you're sure to adore us, and you'll love our prices.
At what point did everything change? When did service get taken out of service industries? It's too bad, because people are busy these days. At life, at work, at play. When it comes to your hard-earned money, you want service. Real service. from a person you know and a face you trust. At a bank where changing with the times doesn't mean leaving people behind. We're proud to be a part of your community. We're United Bank, at your service.
Concerned about your heart health? At WVU Medicine, we believe your heart deserves world-class care, close to home and always within reach. Our non-invasive cardiology team uses advanced tests like stress tests and cardiac MRI to diagnose and monitor heart conditions without surgery. Call 877-WVU, the number 4HRT, or visit wvumedicine.org/heart.
Route 21 Furniture, take the road to your perfect home.
Sleep well tonight. Try out a new mattress from Route 21 Furniture with a large selection of mattresses, all sizes and comfort levels, with great prices, free local delivery and setup, and financing options. Route 21 Furniture. Open weekdays 9 to 5, Saturday 10 to 5, Sunday noon to 4. 724-737-2222 or Route21Furniture.com.
Route 21 Furniture, take the road to your perfect home.
Attention, active and retired coal miners. Have you been screened for black lung? Here at the Black Lung Clinic at Centerville Clinics, we offer yearly screenings, diagnosis, education, and treatment options to help you live a fuller, healthier life. We provide care regardless of your ability to pay. Call Centerville Clinics today at 724-632-6801. Do it today.
When you are looking to make some extra cash for your aluminum cans, visit Cherokee Recycling, where aluminum can is king. Cherokee Recycling is open Monday through Friday 9 to 4:30 and Saturdays 8 to 12 noon, closed Sundays and holidays. Give Marcus or Rags a call today, 724-439-3228 for Cherokee Recycling, where recycling makes the most sense.
Stop by and check out the 1908 Restaurant and Bar at the Uniontown Country Club. Tuesday night is wing night. Enjoy $1 wings and $2 drafts. You can also check out your favorite item from Chef Steven's new menu. The restaurant's open to the public Tuesday through Thursday, 4 to 9 p.m., Friday and Saturday from noon to 9, and Sunday the bar is open from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. with daily specials. If you want to join the Uniontown Country Club team, good news, they're hiring. You can apply 3 different ways. Call 724-550-4258 extension 4. Email Caitlin at uniontowncountryclub.com or stop by 25 Bailey Lane in Uniontown to pick up an application. The summer golf season is here, so why not stop in and get some rounds in and enjoy the nice weather while you're at it. Call 724-550-4258 for golf or restaurant information. It's all happening at the Uniontown Country Club. They hope to see you this summer. After all, you really can't spell Uniontown without you.
That's the Stones, man, bringing us out of the break.
The Stones.
You know,
Mick
they're
and
the
Keith.
ones that brought marijuana to America.
Is that
I don't
right?
think it was the Beatles.
Wasn't the Beatles. Paul McCartney and Mick Jagger fought over that.
They are the fans, of course.
Well, I think Keith was doing some things harder than weed and
I'm guessing
liquor.
he was, but they were definitely fans of the Devil's Lettuce.
The devil's lettuce. Vile weed. That's broccoli, of course.
We during the last before into the last interview, we talked. This news is very new. Breaking news. Don't you love that when they say that on TV and it happened 12 hours ago?
Yeah, CNN does it all the time.
This is breaking news, apparently. Just this evening, ABC has announced that they are indefinitely preempting Jimmy Kimmel Live over a comment he made indicating that the shooter of Charlie Kirk was a member of MAGA. That doesn't make any sense.
No.
And they've taken not just putting him in repeats, but taking him off the show. So I don't know what they're going to be showing at that time of night, some repeat of something. And then we'll see if that gets better viewership because, man, those late night shows have really been struggling with their viewer numbers lately. But moving on from that, joining us right now on the WVU Medicine Uniontown Hospital Talk Line, Senior Fellow for Public Affairs and Media Research with the Associated Press Nork Center for Public Affairs Research at the University of Chicago, her business card must go on both sides. That's the only way I can figure that one out. Marjorie Conley. Marjorie, we enjoyed talking to you. How are you today?
I'm very well. How are you doing?
Good. I've done, as you know, polling analysis and written polls for many, many years, but mine were always related to business or mostly politics. So it's nice to have a survey talking about things that are a little more lighthearted. And we did one a while ago, although you let us down because we thought you were going to tell us who was going to be in the Final Four on March Madness. But we have had you back since because we forgave you for that slip. But this latest survey was on sports fans. And give us some idea of, I guess, when you come up with ideas, it's okay, what haven't we done in a while? What do we need to do? How does something like this come up?
A lot of times it comes from very often people at editors at the Associated Press and the different departments at the Associated Press. Like they come to the polling folks there and they say, "Oh, can you do some questions on?" And if we have room on a survey, these kind of questions, unlike questions that are happening in the news right away that have like a quick turnaround. These questions, they don't have to. They're not as. They don't have to turn around as quickly, so we have more time to do them, and so they like every once in a while we like to do something that's not just about politics or just about policy, and it's kind of, as you say, it's like more lighthearted. It's more fun for the interviewers, and it's more fun for the readers too.
I was surprised when I read some of this, and I'm one of those geeks that goes into page 42, and looks at the demographics. But right off the top, though, you mentioned, and this was usually something surprises me on page 42, but this surprised me in the first line. Half of the public are sports fans. Wow. If you think of the commercials on TV, and apparently the entire world bets on sports anymore, it's every third commercial. I would have thought it was 80% or more, but only half the public said they are sports fans.
Yes. Well, what we did was we asked them if they followed sports a lot, somewhat, or extremely well, very well, and somewhat. And if they said up to somewhat, we considered them sports fans. And so we only got about half of the public saying they followed them, and the other half said not very much or not at all. And I think and probably somebody who might pay attention to the World Series might call themselves not a huge sports fan, or just watch the U.S. Open. They're not a big sports fan, but once a year they watch sports.
Right. It's just one of those topics where people don't want to look like, I don't want to be a commoner. People would say, I don't eat fast food, but it's the biggest industry in America.
Exactly.
After bubble gum or something.
Yeah. No, I don't really
think so. I don't think
there's anything wrong with being a sports fan. I think, I think that, there's a lot of people who are sports fans. And as you say, and I don't think anybody looks down on people who are sports fans. I think just some people aren't that interested in particular sports or not. There's more and more sports, and there's more and more places that you can see sports. Now they've got these, streaming channels that are all sports all the time. And so the fans have more places where they can watch the sports than they used to. It used to be like, you had Monday Night Football and I guess on Sundays, or Saturdays and Sundays, and that was it. But now you can watch, games all the time.
Well, I hope nobody's... Oh, go ahead, Marjorie.
No, I mean, I that's what I'm guessing. I mean, yeah. I don't subscribe to, ESPN, so I don't know. But I'm guessing that's what, I know that you see signs in, places where they say, oh, we show games from Europe, and I know that, and there'll be a lot of fans in those bars watching those games from Europe. So I'm guessing that there's a lot of interest in it. It's only half of the public, which is a lot of people, though.
Sure. Well, I hope nobody's looking down on sports fans, Marjorie, because I'm a sports freak. I don't think there's been a day in my life where I haven't watched a game or listened to sports talk, and people who know me know that, so I love it. It's part of my life. Same with Doug. But was there a breakdown of sports or professional or collegiate sports that are people's favorites? I mean, obviously in America, the NFL's king right now, but was there a breakdown of how many people are watching a certain sport or pro or college, or has that changed over the years?
On this survey, we did not have a lot of questions, and we did not ask them what they followed, what they watched. We have asked that kind of question in the past, and you're right. If we ask it in the fall, it depends. It's NFL, and NFL always beats baseball, especially in the during football season. But we haven't asked that in a while, so I will suggest to them we find out what is America's favorite sport, but I think it's been football for quite a while in different surveys.
I think you're right on that. That's for sure. It's interesting. Over the years here in southwestern Pennsylvania, we've been fortunate. Our teams have gone to championships. At least it's been a while now. But Penguins,
not the Pirates, yeah,
not the Pirates, but the Penguins and the Steelers. And every time, especially during the Super Bowl, reporters would go find people during the Super Bowl and ask them, why are you here at the Pittsburgh Symphony Orchestra or the opera instead of watching the Super Bowl? Which is, and it would be interesting with the responses. They said, "Well, we knew it wasn't going to be all that crowded going downtown today, and we could get pretty good tickets." But yeah, there are those, and I think some people are always shocked to hear that. My gosh, your team's in the Super Bowl. How could you not be watching it? Our church canceled Mass on Super Bowl Sunday because they knew nobody was going to be there.
They did.
But we have about.
I will tell you, I'm not a football fan. And one night I was walking my dog. I forget. It wasn't really late, but it was in the evening, and the street seemed particularly weirdly empty. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking, why is it so quiet? And I live in a kind of busy neighborhood, and then I realized, of course, it's Super Bowl Sunday. Everybody's somewhere watching TV, except for me. I was walking my dog.
If somebody saw you wandering the streets, they probably called the police. There's someone out in the street. Who could that possibly be? Can't be anybody around here.
What's wrong with her? Get her home.
Yeah, get her to the house.
And you also mentioned all the options now. I mean, the streaming, it's not just the old-fashioned network TV feed, and people watch games on their phones now, which I don't understand. But is there a breakdown of how many people are watching on traditional TV as opposed to for online on their phone even?
Well, we asked people whether they subscribe to different services, whether they have cable or satellite TV, which is sort of like normal, regular TV, and then streaming services, and then TV platforms. And then we asked people if they have sports-only streaming platforms, such as ESPN Plus, MLB TV, NFL Sunday Ticket, or NBA Season Pass. And we find that, not surprisingly, sports fans those sports-only streaming platforms are much more popular with sports fans. Sure. About 4 in 10 sports fans subscribe to those platforms, and the group of people that we called like super fans or serious fans, 60% of them subscribe to those streaming services.
Yeah,
now, one thing that's interesting, which we found out, is some people subscribe to these services for a specific season. And then when the season's over, they unsubscribe. And then they, go back. So if they're really they're baseball fans or football fans, they'll sign up for the season. And when the season's over, they'll save some money and unsubscribe. And then they'll come back when their favorite sport is back on.
Yeah, I tend to like sports on the radio if I'm in a car.
Sure, especially baseball, yes.
Yeah, baseball's great. There's always there's a lot of college. Pittsburgh's not considered a college town, but it should be. There are more colleges.
Well, you've got Penn State, don't you? Well, that's not in Pittsburgh, but right.
You would think it is at times.
Tons of alums here. Tons of Penn State fans here.
There are more Penn State alumni in Allegheny County, which is the county where Pittsburgh's located, than any other county in the state. Enough,
and a lot of Notre Dame fans around here, right, Doug? Tons, and that's in Indiana.
Yeah, it's interesting when you have that impact and the impact that sports has and sports betting. That would be a survey you could do. I don't understand it. It's not something I do, but I swear every fifth commercial is about sports betting these days.
We have asked about sports betting, but not recently. It was quite a while ago, so that's also something maybe, needs to be asked about again. But there was a period of time, I think this was a while ago, when it was sort of looked down upon, when we asked a lot about sports betting, or betting in general, sports betting and lotteries and such. But we haven't asked it recently when it's sort of like ubiquitous now. It's on internet and on your phone, right?
The announcers during games will do live reads of betting apps.
Yeah, they used to do that and would get fired for it.
During
Jimmy
the
the
game,
Greek.
Willie Mays was the legendary baseball player.
Yeah,
was disavowed from anything he could do with baseball because he was at an Atlantic City casino greeting people coming in. That was the job he took after baseball, and he was cut out of baseball completely.
Look at Pete Rose, my gosh.
Well, he bet on his own game.
I know, but still, gambling ruined his life. Yeah,
you couldn't greet somebody walking into a casino.
Yeah, that's silly.
That was.
So,
and nowadays,
so Willie Mays just greeted people walking into the casino, or he walked into the casino and said, get into this, bet on the games while you're here.
Yeah, I think he was just greeting people.
I don't think back then.
Well, back then you couldn't bet on baseball, or you couldn't legally bet.
And they needed the money. They didn't make much back then.
Yeah, that's. Oh my gosh, these guys, the greatest players ever.
Say hey, kid.
Made a fraction of what you make nowadays. As we talk with Marjorie Conley with AP North, the Center for Public Affairs Research at the University of Chicago. Talking about the survey on sports fans. And this was an interesting one. When I catch these, I think, we ought to have Marjorie on to talk about this. But yeah, the streaming services and that. I guess I don't fall into the category super fan. I mean, I don't watch a lot of sports outside the Pirates, the Steelers, the Penguins.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I watch Thursday night, but I don't watch 3 games on Sunday.
Oh, I definitely do. I go out Saturday so I don't feel guilty about staying home all day Sunday. I will watch 10 hours on Sunday.
Sports, and if you
if I ask you, in general, how closely do you follow sports? Would you say extremely, very, somewhat, not very, not at all?
Extremely for me.
I would be very, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, and so then you'd become a super fan.
Oh.
You'd be on our super fan group.
You're a super fan, Doug.
Well, you're a super fan plus. We'll give you that.
That's
and
right.
that costs more.
Like NBC Plus or some streaming service.
Or CNN Plus.
CNN
wait,
Plus.
They canceled that in a month.
a
that
week.
didn't last long.
Poor Wolf Blitzer.
So, it's interesting. And the other one, too, he said 50% are satisfied with the availability of sports events they want to watch, while 26% are dissatisfied. Well, how much are you missing? You could watch sports 24/7.
You could. News,
maybe
anything.
They're just dissatisfied because they have to actually go to work sometimes. I don't know.
Well, they say there's always big issues during March when people are sitting there watching March Madness games because they play during the workday.
Yeah.
And they talk about productivity drops in March.
I mean, if I can watch the Maryland Towson game, I don't know what I'm going to do.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
St. Mary's and
of a CC.
Wilbur Gardner or whoever happens to be playing. It's
when I was younger, I used to put the World Series on in the daytime.
Oh, they did.
And,
those days are over.
The nuns who used to, if you were good, they would let you watch. They'd turn on the TV at the end of the day and let you watch some of it.
Well, I remember in 1971, I would have been in third grade, fourth grade, second grade, I can't remember. They would have the Pirate game, the World Series games playing. I mean, just games playing over. Hey, it would have been the World Series
over the
PA system in the school. Of course, certain teachers were livid. Like, how are they going to teach with the game coming over?
Yeah, you're losing that day.
But I have a feeling the pastor wanted it played, and that's who had to say. The impact that sports have on America, and
I just remember the Miracle Mets. That was the one that was like, they'd let us watch TV for.
And was there a question maybe about, Doug mentioned the impact of sports. I just have to tell this. I was out Saturday watching, without the sound on, a Georgia-Tennessee college game. They kept panning the crowd. The game was back and forth, phenomenal game. These people, it was like this was the most important thing in their lives. Grown men are crying. They showed the kicker's dead after he missed. He looked like he just got hit by a car. It was like, this is the most important thing in these people's lives, and that's the power of sports. And I think it's a beautiful thing. I love it. And was there a question there as to I'm not even sure how to phrase this. Is like how important sports are to people.
To your life.
And it
You did not ask that.
changes your personality entirely. My brother is one of the quietest people I've ever known. You put him in front of a game, he starts screaming and yelling.
Yep.
I'm like, you're like possessed, Dave.
Exactly.
This isn't you. What's the matter with you?
Yeah,
You
sports
calm
does
down.
that. Music too. When you go to a concert, people are singing, and that's the beauty of it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
One thing I want to point out is one of the limitations of this poll is it's just of adults. So we don't have like teenagers or young people who are also could very easily be, 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds, 18-year-olds, but, 16, 17, who could also very well be very strong sports fans. You start out young and you stay a sports fan. So we missed out on the teenagers that may have up those numbers a bit.
Well, they would watch a 45-second summary of a game on TikTok.
Exactly. Yeah, highlights.
Yeah, that would be about it, maybe. Marjorie Connolly, thanks so much. We enjoy our conversations with you.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
All right, take
Bye-bye.
care.
That was awesome. Thank you.
We seem to make her rather happy here. I was pulling something up here, and I was going to play it while she was on, but sometimes I don't know how these things are going to sound coming over. So I'll play it. Actually, I'll play it right now.
Go ahead.
Of course, it'd be nice if it actually made some noise.
Well,
Tell you
there's
what,
that.
why don't we play it when we come back from the
All
break?
right.
439-2323. For 24-hour emergency service, call us when you need. We're Fayette's Heating and Air Conditioning, your service company.
When it's sweltering outside, you'll be cool inside with central air conditioning from Bryant, the people that know cool. And it's easy to have a central air conditioning system installed in your home. Simply call on your Bryant dealer, Fayette Heating and Air Conditioning, located near the Laurel Mall on Route 119, north of Uniontown. The phone number is 439-2323. Let Fayette Heating and Air Conditioning rescue you from the sticky, humid summer weather. Remember that number for Fayette Heating and Air Conditioning, your Bryant dealer, 439-2323.
Call Fayette Heating and Air Conditioning, 439-2323. 439-2323. 439-2323.
Hello, Uniontown and Fayette County. This is attorney Erica Dowd of Quattrini Law Group. Are you a veteran suffering from a service-related disability or disease? Not all injuries are obvious or happen quickly. We've helped hundreds of veterans with conditions like PTSD, neuropathy, heart conditions, and cancers get the benefits they deserve, even when their conditions didn't start until many years after service. VA benefits can be paid for any condition that could have been caused or worsened by your service, from Agent Orange exposure, Camp Lejeune water exposure, burn pits, or physical injuries in the service. If you were disabled from your military service, we can help you. The consultation is free and no obligation. Call us today at 1-888-534-6016 or Google Quattrini Law Group. Again, this is attorney Erica Dowd from Quattrini Law Group, reaching out to veterans like...
Are you looking for personalized health care you can trust? At Montgomery Medical, they're accepting new patients.
Hi, I'm Dr. Betty Thomas. Having a primary care provider means better overall health, from preventative care to managing chronic conditions. We're here to support you every step of the way. That's right. Hi, I'm Jenna Lutzka, a physician assistant. Plus, we have same-day appointments and walk-in same-day care available too. We're here for you.
Join the Montgomery Medical family today by calling 724-569-8100 to schedule your appointment. A family tradition of family medicine.
Route 21 Furniture. Take the road to your perfect home.
Sleep well tonight. Try out a new mattress from Route 21 Furniture with a large selection of mattresses, all sizes and comfort levels, with great prices, free local delivery and setup, and financing options. Route 21 Furniture. Open weekdays 9 to 5, Saturday 10 to 5, Sunday noon to 4. 724-737-2222 or Route21Furniture.com.
Route 21 Furniture. Take the road to your perfect home.
Tune in to WMBS Saturday mornings at 8:20 for Your Financial Future with Gary Boatman, certified financial planner, investment advisory representative, syndicated columnist, and author, as he addresses such income issues as planning for retirement, future health care expenses, avoiding financial pitfalls, and much more. That's Your Financial Future with Gary Boatman, Saturday mornings at 8:20 right here on WMBS, or Gary Boatman welcomes your calls at 724-243-3075. That's 724-243-3075.
WMBS.
if you're a fan of television, and that was a pretty edgy show back in the day, Hill Street Blues. Stephen Bochco, who went to CMU, came up with the idea, based it on the Hill District in Pittsburgh, of course, the theme to Hill Street Blues. How did we come up with that? Somehow we decided to talk about that. But that was a great show. Very edgy at the time.
It was.
It was a college show of mine. Is that when it played? I think you have certain colleges that you have. Earlier we were talking about sports, of course.
But I don't want you to forget, Doug. It's why I'm pointing at your phone.
I appreciate that very much. Let's see if it's going to play this time. I couldn't get it to play last time.
Sports. It's a very small part of life. Sports. Bart rides up in the front seat today because he's a good guy at sports.
There we go. Homer Simpson, who's been on TV longer than anybody.
They never age. Marge still looks great.
Oh,
the baby is still a baby.
Yeah, the baby's still a baby.
Bart's still in 3rd grade. Lisa's still playing the sax. It's amazing.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
And there's no reason to ever stop it.
And Santa's little helper is still alive.
People keep watching it, for heaven's sakes. And the three-eyed fish, the whole thing, from him working at the nuclear power